The following is a presentation of Turner Sports, where this year you saw cable television's exclusive coverage of the 18th Winter Games from Nagano, Japan. Coming in July, the 4th Goodwill Games from New York.
May. Synonymous for racing fans with the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tomorrow, America's premier racers go head-to-head in the Memorial Weekend's biggest event, the 39th annual Coca-Cola 600. But first, the wild ones of the Busch Series duke it out in the CarQuest Auto Parts 300, a race that gave Joe Nemechek an emotional victory in '97. The '98 Busch season has been one of youth versus experience. Two-time champion Randy LaJoie still looking for his first win. Points leader Mike McLaughlin looking for his first championship. But riding his tail, does the name Earnhardt ring a bell? Dale Earnhardt Jr. has shown signs of greatness. In Texas, he continued another generation of winning ways. And don't forget unknown Matt Kenseth, who took the checkers in Rockingham. Today, they invade the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where anything can happen. The 88, trouble. Page in the wall.
Trouble in turn three. Trouble in turn three. Over the wall and turn four behind. Keep digging, keep digging, keep digging. On the first.
Today, will youth prevail or experience strike again? Buckle up and find out in the CarQuest Auto Parts 300 next. It is the overture to the All-American 39th annual Coca-Cola 600 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway tomorrow, which you'll see live here on TBS. The 50th anniversary of NASCAR is celebrated this Saturday afternoon as the fans stream in with the CarQuest Auto Parts 300. 200 laps, $600,000 in this annual get-together for the Grand National ranks of NASCAR. Let's go trackside with Alan Bestwick.
Bobby Labonte will lead this field to the green flag just moments from now. He's filling in for teammate Tony Stewart in the Joe Gibbs Racing Shell Pontiac. This is the second time this year Labonte's filled in for Stewart. He won the first time. But yesterday, in the final moments of the final practice session for the Busch Series machines here, Labonte and Dick Trickle get together on the back straightaway. Trickle's car heavily damaged. The nose piece of the Labonte's machine pushed in pretty good. The crew stayed till 7 o'clock last night repairing the machine. They were back at 7 o'clock this morning. Lots of 200-mile-an-hour tape on the front end of this Pontiac. Now the question is, has it damaged the handling on this machine at all? Bobby Labonte won't find that out till he leads this field of 43 drivers to the green flag. Let's go back to the field further in Mike Hogwood.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. won at Texas. He's third in the point standings, but he's never raced here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Qualified his car 23rd. That did not make him happy. He spent a lot of time on this track practicing, and by the end of the Busch happy hour yesterday, his car was the fastest in this Busch Series. He's ready to take it right to the front and get there in a hurry. Now to Steve Burns.
Mike, there's a great story on the front row next to Bobby Labonte. It's Kevin LePage. He didn't join this team until the third race of the season. Now he's given this team a third-place finish. We'll see today if he can get to victory lane. He's just tightened the belts. He's ready to go. Now let's check in with Randy Pemberton, who's with one of the most famous families in NASCAR racing.
Steve, the name Jarrett has been synonymous with NASCAR Winston Cup racing now for over 40 years. Ned Jarrett is a two-time Winston Cup champion before retiring back in 1965. Now Dale Jarrett is a threat to win this year's Winston Cup championship. He'll start 11th today in the CarQuest 300. Tomorrow he will also be in the Coca-Cola 600. But there's another Jarrett trying to make a name for himself in NASCAR competition today. That's Dale's son, Jason Jarrett. He will start right next door to his father, Dale, here this afternoon. His job,
His job today is to carry on the family tradition, follow in his father's tire tracks, and stay out of trouble. Now let's go to Larry McReynolds. Larry?
Randy, we are at Charlotte, and this racetrack is probably one of the most weather-sensitive racing surfaces that we have to deal with. Track cooling down, track heating up, cloud covering greatly affects the handling of the race car. We're here at Charlotte, and the Busch cars have been practicing in hot heat and hot temperatures all week long. Today it's a little cool and overcast. But Ken, you know what? We're still at Charlotte. It's going to get slick. The race car's going to have a hard time getting a hold of the racetrack, and the teams that can adjust the cars the best as the race unfolds, they'll be the ones there at the end at the front.
Thank you, Larry, and indeed, we are at Charlotte, and that is the significant factor here. To be at Charlotte, to be part of this field, to run against some of the great Winston Cup stars as a Grand National candidate, looking for things in the future. It means everything to put on a polished performance, to be just as perfect as you can for these 300 miles of competition. I got a couple of folks alongside to know a lot about this. The three-time winner of the 600, Buddy Baker, and a guy that won the 600 5 times, the all-time winner. Old DW is here today. Let's talk about the significance, Buddy, for these young guys that really have got their adrenaline rushing right now, hoping to have a good day.
More than adrenaline. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, Elliott Sadler, all winners this year. These guys are the stars of the future. Here they can showcase it in front of all the Winston Cup people. It means a lot to them. Another story we need to talk about, Randy LaJoie. 96, 97, champion. Winston, or Grand National champion. Hey, this year, nothing but bad luck.
And they're on about their 6th car as they come in here for this race. Now, some of us remember 1977.
Yeah.
And some
kid, what was that, 10,
yeah, right.
10, 15 years ago,
won this race on Saturday, and he came back and won it as a Winston Cup champion later. DW, what does this race mean?
Well, it means a lot just to the Winston Cup guys. A lot of people say, why do they run this race? Well, the reason they run this race is, first of all, to get familiar with the racetrack and the conditions, the heat and the tires are very similar to what we're going to run tomorrow. The other reason they run this race, they want to win. A win is a win is a win. And with winning comes confidence. Winning, it's the thing. And I think that's why all of them run it. Plus, they need to be in here. It brings the level of competition up as well.
And we're going to see that level of competition get ready to boil. There go the balloons. Ned Jarrett has given the command as Grand Marshal for this race to send them on their way in the CarQuest Auto Parts 300. Line up in a moment.
The CarQuest Auto Parts 300 on TBS is brought to you by your neighborhood CarQuest Auto Parts stores. For top quality parts for the cars on America's roads, you'll find it at CarQuest. By True Value, the official hardware store of NASCAR and garages everywhere. And by Mobil 1 Synthetic Motor Oil. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
See part of the crowd that is gathered here on Saturday. Tomorrow, everything is sold out for the running of the 39th 600. Live on TBS, pre-race at 5:35. Let's take a look at today's Midas starting grid. It's Bobby Labonte on the pole with a big question mark after that car got brushed up in his final practice period. And Kevin LePage from Shelburne, Vermont starts alongside. In row 2, Jim Bound from Oregon, his best starting position, and Dale Fitchline. In row 3, it's Matt Kenseth, who won at the Rock, and Mark Martin, a 32-time winner in Grand National. Row 4, Mark Green and Jeff Burton's there. Watch out for him. Row 5 is Elliott Sadler and last year's winner, Joe Nemechek. For row 6 today, the Jarretts. Dale Jarrett, 5/1000ths of a second faster than his son Jason, making his premier performance here at Charlotte. Row 7 is Magic Shoes, #1 in points, Mike McLaughlin and Dick Trickle. Row 8, Robert Presley and Sterling Marlin. Row 9, Mike Dillon and Michael Waltrip. In row 10, it's Joe Bessie and Lance Hooper. Row 11, Jeff Green and Hermie Sadler there. Row Dale and Kevin Schwartz. Row 13 is Glenn Allen and Phil Parsons. Row 14, Patty Moise is there with Rich Bickle. In row 15, Buckshot Jones and Jason Keller. Row 16 is Tim Fedewa with Jeff Purvis. The 17th row has Elton Sawyer and Shane Hall. In row 18, it's Jimmy Spencer, who won the qualifying race yesterday, and alongside defending national champion Randy LaJoie. Row 19 is the Buckeye Bullet, Dave Blaney and Jeff Fuller. The 20th row, Ed Barrier and Braff Nonsinger is back on the outside of that 20th row. Row 21, Bobby Hillen Jr. and Jeff Krogh, and Tracy Leslie as the provisional spot back there in 43rd. Failed to qualify for this race. Boy, look at this. Blaze Alexander, Loy out. The top 5 all running for Rookie of the Year aren't in this race. Failed to qualify. You got to get well back in that battle for Rookie of the Year to find them that are up there. Jason Jarrett scrambling for that role.
Yeah, Kenny Irwin, too, who didn't make the cup race either, so he's had a bad weekend.
Yeah, that's tomorrow's show. There's the pace car coming in. We're ready to go, Baker.
See, the people are ready. The hats are flying. The green flag is out.
My hands are sweating. Let's go here. Let's drop that green flag.
Sits on the pole at 172.822 miles per hour, and there may have been questions, but there aren't any now. Here's Bobby Labonte, who is batting 1,000 this year. 1 Grand National race and 1 victory out in front. You'll see Jeff Burton in the number 9 squaring off with Mark Martin in the early going as they come around to complete lap number 2.
You know, Ken, sometimes you can knock the nose off a car like that, not hurt the chassis or anything, and actually help the car because the inspectors are a little bit more sympathetic with you when you get ready to go through tech to get ready for the race.
Look at Bound in the number 51. What a story here. Jimmy Bound out of Portland, Oregon, and his dad and 1 mechanic put this team together, and here he comes slicing down to the inside and taking first place.
Yeah, we've seen Bound run good here before. He has got a good race car.
And Matt Kenseth's in second place there in the 17 car. He's making a move. Bobby Labonte's dropped all the way back to third. As you can see, Kevin LePage is now running fourth in the number 40 car.
Bound, big surprise, qualifying third. He has 1 mechanic, paid guy in the whole crew, his dad and himself. They put that number 51 together. And what a show they're putting on here. For what looks to be like 70,000 folks, and there's that Matt Kenseth. 10 points out of first place in the Grand National standings.
Bobby Labonte got very loose off turn 4 there. You see Kevin LePage got track position on the bottom side. Here comes Jeff Burton in the 9 as they head off into turn 1. Bobby Labonte is falling back.
LePage muscling his way down to the bottom. Now this morning, LePage was a big story. Winston Cup practice this morning. LePage at 190 miles an hour in the fence in turn 1. Destroyed the car that he intended to run tomorrow in the 600. Backup car is coming out. You'll see it on happy hour in its first test run this afternoon when we finish this race.
And these tires, everybody starts with pretty low air in the tires. And the cars are fairly loose on when the cars have got the low air pressure. That could be Bobby Labonte's problem. Tire pressure builds up a little bit, the car tightens up, and he'll be able to go back to the front.
Kenseth in the second spot. He's been one of the big surprises of this year.
Keep your eye on the car running in 4th place right now. Jeff Burton is making a huge run towards the front. The 9 car right there has moved all the way up now to 4th spot and really is a contender.
Well, I think the guy, Baker behind him, is the guy I'm going to keep my eye on. Oh, got trouble right here in the tri-oval. 66 car bounced off the wall.
And kept on trucking.
Well, he's trying to. I think he's got quite a bit of damage.
He flattened it out.
Yeah, he did. He got into
considerably.
That was Elliott Sadler in the 66 car. You can see there his brother Hermie Sadler going by in the 29 car. Here comes Joe Bessie by. Right now, he's trying to evaluate, do I really hit? Did I hit hard enough to knock the fenders in on the tire? You see him losing. Oh, he gets hit again. That put him into the outside wall.
And that time he takes Jeff Krogh with him.
Oh, he took a bunch of cars with him.
Buckshot Jones in the 00 also
is in that mess. Elliott Sadler 66. And look at what happened to Dave Blaney in the 93.
Well, that was because the 66 car was up on the high side. He was trying to get into the pits. He was slowing down and giving everybody room. They went in there at 2 under him, and one pushed into him and caused this big mess.
Buckshot Jones, 00 comes in. He's been in a war with Randy LaJoie in recent. We'll take a quick break and come back, show you some of the replays of this incident, which happened in lap number 6 of 200 to be run today in the CarQuest 300. Back with you live, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Elliott Sadler's car just off the pace a little, getting collected by perhaps 4 or 5 other cars. We're going to show you some of the replays. Take a look here. We're going to turn 3. They're 3 deep.
Yeah, they just got real. They got too many cars going to the same place at one time there. The 66 got in trouble way over here in trial. Well, he's trying to limp back around to the pit, I do believe. And he caused a big bottleneck over there going into turn 3.
But it was the yellow car, Jeff Croak, down on the inside. He was all the way on the line and trying to make more room. Here's where part of it happened.
That's Shane Hall in the 85 that got into Elliott Sadler, and you can see Jeff Croak there in the 56 getting involved. There goes Dave Blaney in the 93, Buckshot Jones in the 00. All of them collected, and just it's like a freeway. Everybody got tied up in something they had nothing to do with.
Buckshot's waving. He knows there's a problem. He sees that 66 slow. Yeah. Oh, he got hit from behind too.
You can see by that replay that Jimmy Spencer went down on the flat part of the racetrack and avoided that accident. He was the 12 car that you were looking at.
So the Brunswick Bowling Pontiac, just about a spare on that one for Buckshot Jones in the 00. Trying to make some room.
Yeah, the 66 car, I think he hit the wall over here, had a problem. He bottlenecked him up going into 3 there. Buckshot, you can see by his hand waving, he knew long before he got there that there was going to be a problem, but chain reaction.
Alan Bestwick.
Buckshot Jones is in for his 3rd stop under this caution, Ken. You can see the crew working around the left front of the car. The air dam, the front fender, is pushed back in. Now, last time they cleared it away from the tire. Now they're trying to make sure that it's going to stay clear of the tire. And you see they've got some big Band-Aids of tape, basically, that they'll try and put on that open sheet metal to try and keep it from tearing loose when he gets back up to 150, 160 miles an hour. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Alan, we're with Sandy Jones, the crew chief on the 66 of Elliott Sadler. Sandy, what happened?
Well, we were a little bit loose coming off of 4 there, and we scraped the ball right back up there, and we was getting ready to come in here and pit because it had some wheel rubbing. And that idiot in that yellow car down there would try to make it 3 wide going into 3, and he run out of room along with them other guys there, so we were just on the outside, and everybody took us out. So whoever that yellow car was.
Well, Sandy, you guys came in here 5th in points. Can you get it fixed and get it back in the race?
Yeah, we'll just get out there and ride around for some points. That's about all we'll do.
All right, tough break for Elliott Sadler here this afternoon.
Well, you could hear the frustration, and that happens so many times. I mean, he's talking about Jeff Croak, but he absolutely didn't have that much to do with the wreck. Shane Hall actually got sideways and got into Elliott Sadler as they headed in turn 3, and that really triggered the wreck.
Take a look at some of the storylines on today's event. That's a great father and son starting side by side, 5 1,000ths of a second apart. And of course, Mike McLaughlin, #1 in points by only 10 over Kenseth as they come to this race here at Charlotte, 12th go of the season. Randy LaJoie led just 14 laps. Last year, he led over 400 laps by this time. So can LaJoie turn it around? And 9 crashes this week in these Grand National cars. Yeah. Just in the Grand National cars. And already we're collecting machinery on pit road, minus fenders, minus door panels.
But this racetrack it is so slick. I mean, I know it doesn't look slick to the folks at home, but you have such a slick surface here that when something happens in front of you, if you get on the brakes very hard, you lock it up, spin it around. It's kind of part of what happened over there.
Adding to that story about the Jarretts, Jason Jarrett has moved all the way in the 10th spot.
Let's take a look at the in-car cameras for just a moment. You're riding with Buckshot Jones. You're sitting with Buckshot Jones.
We're not going anywhere right now.
You're not going anywhere.
But remember now, he crashed New Hampshire on the start of the race, got the front end knocked all out of whack, and they fixed it, and he won that race. So he's not out of this thing.
For his 2nd win of the year. Now take a look at Phil Parsons, the Duralube Chevrolet, number 10. Started from that 22nd position. Bill Parsons, who's now still in 22nd.
And a former winner here and runs this track as good as anybody.
Kevin LePage carrying an onboard camera. He is currently in third. He started outside of the front row. And the guy everybody talks about for this track and this race, Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie Ford. Look out for him to be strong in that final 100 miles.
And you know, in all of that confusion over in turn 3, that wreck, how did Kenseth get in front? Because the last time I looked, the 51 was leading, so he must have beat the 51 back to the line to get the lead.
Dick Trickle here. He could be a factor in that Schneider Chevrolet, number 64. And Joe Nemechek, you saw what he did last year in that dramatic victory, coming from 7th position. Nemechek in the Bell South Chevrolet. Shane Hall's Big A Auto Parts Chevy was carrying the camera. There you see it there. That one's at rest as well. As we come around, out of turn 4, down for the green flag. Matt Kenseth is in front with 12 laps complete at 200.
Watching these cars yesterday afternoon in their final practice, Mark certainly looked like he had the best car, but certainly Jeff Burton was fast, and I tell you, Dale Jr. was fast too, and I think he's got to be careful and get his way to the front, but he has a pretty fast hot rod there, and Kevin LePage had an awfully good-looking car in practice yesterday afternoon.
Take a look at Kenseth out in front. Prior to today, Kenseth had led only 1 lap in 98. Final lap when he won at Rockingham.
It's just a moment before Kevin LePage makes his presence known. He's running in third right there with the 40 car. He's really, really quick in the corner. I'm watching him. He's much quicker than Bound right there. He's inches away from the back bumper, trying to get that long down the back straightaway and take that spot away for second.
You know, this young man, Kevin LePage, his stock is going up every week. He does a great job in that 91 Winston Cup car. He's hopped in this car here and has really, really turned the wick up on that thing.
They make a little contact there. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Darrell, but they hit just a little bit. Contact, it moves Bound on the outside. And look at Mark Martin. Take advantage of that move. Moved in the third spot.
LePage putting the chrome horn to work out there. Moves up into second position. There's big talk, and Bound is bounced back. Big talk about LePage for Felix Sabetis. Sabetis was saying this morning that he's never talked with LePage, but he sure likes what he sees. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got an offer to move from the Joe Falk team up into that Winston Cup ride that Sabetis has. He's going to run that car tomorrow after he had trouble this morning. Some grease came out of Joe Nemechek's car. LePage got into it and stuck the car he had qualified for the 600 in the wall. So he's taking over one of Sabetis' rigs for tomorrow's ride of the 39-600.
Randy LaJoie there in the 74 caught in this tangle of cars right here, trying to advance towards the front to get good track position. You can see Matty Maurice in the 14 there on the outside.
Patty Louise likes this race and runs a lot.
Look at Jimmy Spencer sprint to the outside there in the 12 car. He just goes by Bessie like he's tied to a stick.
Yeah, if you remember the race here last fall, how did Jimmy beat Mark Martin? Stayed on the outside. He kept Mark being down on the inside. He's got a good handling car up on the outside.
Oh, look at
on the inside, too.
Spencer under Purvis, and he brings LaJoie with him. Spencer is on a roll. He is now up to 24th position. Just flying through traffic, Jimmy Spencer. Back with the leaders. Kenseth and LePage. Take a look at that bump from moments ago. LePage on to Bound.
Well, here's the deal. How many cars is the 51 team on? Who does all the work on the 51 car? The guy driving it. So he's going to get out of the way and give a little tap.
Well, I made a comment just a little while ago that Kevin LePage is one of the quickest cars here in the corner. As I say that, Mark Martin lets his presence be known. But you can see Kevin LePage moving back on the inside of Mark Martin as they come off turn 4.
Coming by to complete lap number 19. Martin on the outside, LePage on the inside.
See, this is what you like to see right here. If you're watching a race, hey, that's Mark Martin on the outside. Does this guy give up? No, sir. He sticks it right back in there. Mark Martin, you're going to go by me. You're going to earn it, buddy. And that's what people like to see.
Tell you, Darrell, that race we saw last year on this track in the 300-miler last October, when Mark Martin went wheel to wheel with Jimmy Spencer, the last 15 laps side by side was as good as it gets.
Yeah, you're right.
Kevin's caught on the bottom there. You can see teammates working together there. Mark Martin and Jeff Burton as they go by. And Darrell, you're exactly right. I'm noticing Bobby Labonte starting to move up just a little bit. We're riding with Joe Nemechek down into turn 1. There goes Bobby Labonte by in the 44 on the outside.
I think what we're seeing, too, is this outside lane is working awful well for these guys. These cars run around the bottom here for 2 weeks. Maybe there's a little more grip up high.
Kenson finds his way, still staying in front. Battle for second between Martin, LePage, and Burton. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Hall was one of those drivers that suffered significant damage in that crash. He has since pulled behind the wall. They have the Monte Carlo up on 4 jack stands. They have a broken oil line as well as steering components. The idler arm, the crew is underneath the car working on it. Shane has now gotten out of the vehicle. They're going to try and fix it, go out there for points. Of course, he's the guy that suffered probably the most significant damage, but yet he might get back out there momentarily.
Jimmy Spencer, he has moved around LaJoy, who started 35th. Jimmy Spencer now up to 22nd in that white number 12.
Yeah, and he's driving the wheels off that thing right now. But of course, you have to. You got to get everybody you can between you and that leader, just so if there's a problem, you can have some cushion.
Closing in on Sawyer. Jimmy Spencer put on a show of shows and won this race in October a year ago. Staying right with it from number 74, defending national champion from Norwalk, Connecticut, Randy LaJoy.
Yeah, LaJoy's got him a good drafting partner there, and of course he knows Jimmy will cut a path up through there for him, so why not just stay right here with him and follow him?
Yes, he will make a path.
Yeah,
Jimmy's his own path.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that say, hey, watch this.
Matt Kenseth is making his own path up in front until today, leading just 1 lap, that winning lap at Rockingham, trying to knock McLaughlin off the top spot in the Grand National standings. Out of Cambridge, Wisconsin, Matt Kenseth in that Lyco Chevy stays up in front. And there you see right behind him the number 60, Mark Martin, who has finished in the top 4 in the last 9 Charlotte Busch races. And that includes 4 wins for that car number 60 right there, that yellow and black machine.
Well, don't those guys look too far behind, because there's a little kid in the number 3 car, you know, familiar name, familiar number. He is coming on like gangbusters. I've been watching him, and he's got a fast hot rod under him. He's coming to the front.
Matt Kenseth in the 17 there has bad news knocking right on his back door, too. Mark Martin's beginning to move around on the racetrack to look for better places to run. You can see right on the bottom of the racetrack, the 2 cars look very even there, but Mark Martin is inching up on their leader, Matt Kenseth.
Matt Kenseth replaced Bender in that car number 17. We asked Matt Kenseth what winning this Charlotte 300 today, the CarQuest race, would mean to this young driver.
That'd be big. That'd be the biggest thing we've done by far. That's a lot to ask for. Really, my goal is to get out of here with a top 5. That'd be by far the best we've ever run at Charlotte. It's really tough. There's 6 or 7 or 8 Winston Cup drivers out there that are trying really hard, and they're tough to beat. So that'd be huge to win at Charlotte, but right now I'd be pretty happy with the top 5.
Third start at Charlotte for 26-year-old Matt Kenseth. What a moment this is for him, fighting with one of the giants. Mark Martin right there. Mike Hogwood has an update on Kenseth's story.
Well, we're with his crew chief, Robbie Reiser, and Robbie, you guys are making quite a team. What's he saying out there, Matt?
Well, right now the Lakewood Chevrolet is running really well, and you know, it's really hard to hear you, but you know, we're doing a real good job, and the team has had an exceptional part of the season so far, and Matt's doing a real good job. And right now we're just biding our time. We're gonna, you know, try to get this first 150 laps in, and then maybe go race in the last 50.
This is a team that really believes they can do it today, Ken.
What a difference a couple of years makes, Darrell. His first race in Grand National was here in this very CarQuest 300 back in 1996. Started 37th, finished 31st. Up here duking it out for the lead right now.
Yeah, well, that's what Busch Grand National Racing is all about. It's a proving ground. And I tell you, this kid right here, he don't have to prove very much, because he shows he's got a lot of class and a lot of talent. And I'm impressed with his crew chief. They're leading the race, and we're just going to see how it goes here. Maybe we'll pick it up later on.
Back they come to complete 30 laps next time around. And you have Matt Kenseth out in front of Mark Martin, youngster, up against one of the great veterans. Labonte stays third, LePage fourth. Coming up next on TBS, join us as the road to the championship continues. 90 minutes of that final preparation for the 600 tomorrow. They call it happy hour. As we talk to some of the drivers who will be happy and some unhappy in that final shakedown for the 39th annual Coca-Cola 600. Live tomorrow, 5:35 pre-race on TBS. Change among the leaders. You now have Mark Martin on the point. And look who's come into second here, the number 44, pulling right back up there, the pole sitter, Labonte. And Kenseth back to third. Take a look at this lead change.
Matt Kenseth just moves to the high side of the racetrack. Mark Martin makes the move. Very smart there, Darrell. He knew he was not as fast as the 60 at this juncture, and he moved over. He can follow these guys and learn a lot.
Yeah, he can, and I think he's been running the car awfully hard just to stay in front of Mark, and I think he needed to kind of give himself a break there and see what these guys had. Right now, Bobby Labonte looks good, but I know the folks at home maybe can't tell it, but I got to keep talking about Dale Jr. because he's coming to the front in a hurry. He's faster by about a mile an hour than anybody on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, he's come up from, what, 23rd position?
He's up to 7th, and he's been averaging about a mile an hour quicker than the leader. So if he doesn't run the tires off of it, he'll get there.
Who would have believed that Mark Martin hadn't won a race this year in the Busch Grand National Series? Usually he dominates by winning the Rockingham and places like that, but not this year.
Well, Martin has led today. That's his 13th straight Chevrolet Busch race that he's been up on that point. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is coming to the front, but veteran crew chief Tony Eury is still preaching patience. Patience. He wants him to take care of the car, take care of the tires. They do believe they've got a car to win. Dale Sr. is in his condo watching this race. So far, he hasn't said a word on the radio, but he does have one.
Name a check. A little high, and that's all it took. Dale Earnhardt Jr. sweeping through and taking over in 6th position. He ends up 35th lap.
I'm not being partial, I promise you, but that kid is fun to watch. It's like a flashback for me. I used to have to watch his old man do all those things, but I was the guy who's doing it too. So now it's fun to sit up here and watch that kid work because I tell you, he's one of the good. He's going to be a great one.
I see that Phil Parsons was off the pace there on the back straightaway. He's coasting around towards the pit. Too fast for him this early in the race.
Yeah, it is. That's not good.
Duralud Chevrolet had been running back in 38th, in trouble, and headed back for the pit area, perhaps the garage. There's the deployment between 1st and 6th as Mark Martin continues to lead over pole sitter Bobby Labonte. Hey, for just a moment, let's speculate quickly. This morning, in that short half-hour practice, the car that's set for the pole for the 600, on the pole for the 5th time, that car of Jeff Gordon in the fence coming out of turn 2 with Terry Labonte at the controls, buddy.
Yeah, that was, that just happened. It's bad luck for Terry Labonte. Is one of the most consistent drivers. If I had to put somebody in my car to try it out, it would be Terry Labonte. But Jeff Gordon overslept this morning. Did not make it into practice. They put Terry in the car, and as luck would have it, he got into the outside wall.
And you need to stay with us when this show is over, this 300, because you're going to see with us the first run since that car grazed the wall in the back straightaway and had to come in and couldn't finish the practice.
Buddy, if I was going to put somebody in my car, it'd be Jeff Gordon.
You better.
And if he wasn't available, I might not run it. I might park it. Anyway, I know what you're saying about Terry. I mean, he's spun out at, I think it was Texas, and we all parked our car. So when the Texan spins out, it's time to park it.
There's your leader, the number 60 coming through, Mark Martin. This is, I think we got some video from this morning. Let's just take a quick moment and see if we can.
Maybe Jeff's up now and he can watch it.
Well, that'll give him a headache. Just grazed the wall earlier today, that number 24.
Yeah, this is going to be a tape of Winston Cup. Right now we're watching. I think it's coming up.
So the crew is putting that pole sitter back together, and we will see in that final hour, 90 minutes actually, if that car is going to be sound He did not go to a backup car for tomorrow's running of the 600. Look at Jimmy Bowen under Nemechek must be off his base
he's
here.
backing
This
up
isn't right
big
for
time.
him.
Here comes Dale Jarrett in the 32 coming by Nemechek. He's way off the pace as far as what he usually runs here. That's a very dominant car. You can see he has decent straightaway speed, but there goes Jarrett right by him down into turn 1.
More than likely, the car's not handling just right for him right now, and I mean, we've gone 42 laps here, so you know, we're not anywhere near a pit yet, but the tires could be giving up on him.
Let's find out what we can about that Duralube Chevrolet of Phil Parsons, a former winner of this race.
He's the 1994 winner of this race. He has pulled his Duralube Chevrolet behind the wall. The window net comes down, at least for the time being. The story is the clutch has gone out on Phil Parsons' car. They will have to replace it. They're just going to try and possibly get him out of the car, cool him off a little bit while the crew goes to work on a tough break for Phil Parsons.
There's for the lead. Bobby Labonte wheels up the outside, and he's into first spot. That's your third different leader thus far, and we're 43 laps into this 200-lap event.
Well, Tony Stewart's watching this race from Indianapolis today. He's watching his race car go there, the 44, and Bobby Labonte drove it only one other time this year, and he won in Darlington, so he's doing a great job. And Tony, good luck tomorrow.
From fourth position in that Indy 500, Tony Stewart. A lot of folks hope that he wins that one and is here next year. Labonte into first, Martin second, Kenseth third. LePage stays in fourth. The guy on the move is still the number 12. Wheeling up through traffic, started 35th. Spencer is now into the 15th position. And closing up Martin again on Labonte.
Darrell, we've seen Mark Martin do this a million times. Drop back, check the guy out in second, and then run right back up on his back bumper.
The 44 is off the pace now.
44 getting caught up. Let's see if Kenseth is going to go after him. There's the story, and we'll be back with more about it. We have 45 laps now complete. Labonte back to second spot. We're back, second caution. There's the reason. Sterling Marlin's number 1, stand up in the tail as they come around to complete 50 laps this time. Caution on the speedway for Sterling Marlin. Really wrapped that one.
Yeah, that's a Felix Tabata's car as well. Uh-oh. He just got a knockout punch from the WCW.
Lance Hooper. Yep. Lance Hooper got right over into him. Sterling into the outside wall hard there.
Wow.
That don't look pretty from any angle.
Woo. And how did it start?
Right here.
Well, you see Randy LaJoie there in the 74. He's just behind the 23 there of Lance Hooper as they head down in turn 3. He drops back a little bit going in the corner. Lance Hooper probably went in that corner. You'll probably see the back of the car kind of slip right there. He'll move up a little bit. He'll make contact right there. And that sends Sterling flying.
Yeah. I think you're right, buddy. I think Hooper looked in the mirror. He saw the LaJoie car. He drove it in there a little bit harder, and it got down under Sterling, got the air off the spoiler, spun him around.
Everybody's on pit road. Martin came in leading with Labonte second, Kenseth third, LePage and Earnhardt up to fifth to Mike Hogwood.
Dale Earnhardt in the pits. He and Tony Eury talked it over. They made no adjustments. 4 tires on the car. Full tank of gas. He's down and away. Alan Bessler.
Dale Jarrett was in it, moved up to 9th spot. He took 4 tires down and away. Mike McLaughlin, the point leader, started 13th. He was running 7th. 4 tires, topped off the fuel. He is back on the racetrack. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Down at this end of pit road, turn 4 area, Elton Sawyer was in. Jimmy Spencer was in. Also, Randy LaJoie and Jeff Purvis in. All 4 tires down here. They all want to get new skins. A couple of minor adjustments, that's all. Back out. Steve Burns.
And Bobby Labonte was just in, Randy. He changed 4 tires. Now, he's been complaining that his car's loose. Even though he's among the leaders, the car is loose. They added 3 rounds of wedge. So, again, the back end of the car wants to come around. They're going to tighten it up to keep that rear end in place. Glenn Allen Jr., an extended stop on pit road. You can see his car being pushed off. They cannot get it fired. Also, Kevin LePage in the 40 was in. They took a spring rubber out of there on the number 40 car.
Well, there's a lot of activity down there, Ken, and everybody needed that caution, kind of make some adjustments, and we'll see a different race now because some of the cars needed some changes to them to make them more competitive, and that'll help everybody.
Yeah, 73.5 miles were complete when they came in at 49 laps. There's your AutoZone race analysis for $600,000 they're getting it today. With a couple of hundred laps, of which we have now completed some 50. The pit window was 70 to 80, so they hit that a little prematurely, but with what's going on and how slippery this track is, buddy, they're probably, as Darrell says, delighted they have this opportunity.
I guarantee you everybody was looking for this stop. Now they've adjusted the car. We're looking for a great restart and a great race.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, Ken, they might be able to run 70 or 80 laps on fuel, but the tires really give up at, about where we are right now. So this is a good time to put tires on and go again.
There you see that number 3 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. now running up in 4th place. We asked Dale Jr., what does he have to do to build up his confidence?
I feel that I've proven to myself now that I do have the talent. I feel confident in myself that I can drive a race car. But I'm not confident going everywhere knowing we're going to lap the field everywhere we go. No, I don't really feel that way, but I do have confidence in myself as a driver now, and that's kind of helped me out, and I'm more comfortable with the car and going to new tracks such as NASCAR.
He just gets better and better.
Well, he really does, and he's a really good kid. I enjoy hanging with him. It's been one of the fun things at driving for Earnhardt. So, and he's got talent, I promise you.
You know that song about she's got Betty Davis? He's got Dale Earnhardt eyes.
Oh, yeah.
He does that.
He is an intense young man, and of course, he's just he's just so laid back. I mean, he's so nonchalant about everything. Yeah, I'm real comfortable with the car. You know, we're doing real good. I like that.
Computer nerd.
I talked to him before he won Texas, and I said, you know, you've already got 2/3, a second. He said, let me tell you something. I didn't go to those racetracks to run second, third.
And he ain't kidding.
Let's go to Steve Burns.
And bad news for Glenn Allen Jr., Ken. They've just taken the carburetor off. He sits behind the wall. Glenn, you came in here 9th in points. What's wrong now?
We really don't know. We lost an engine in happy hour, the 3rd lap into happy hour, and we put a brand new engine in last night. We fired it up today right from the start. It wouldn't run, so we're going to put a carburetor on. We feel like it's a carburetor that is messing up. The Luxury Chevrolet's awful good. We've just had a bad weekend down here. The race car's been awful good. The guys worked hard. We've just lost 2 engines while we've been here over the weekend, and this one doesn't seem to be running real well. So other than that, we're struggling, but the race team's working hard, and we got a good race team.
Let's go to Alan Bestwick.
Steve, Dale Jarrett came down pit road in 9th position. He came out in 5th position. Because Dale and his son Jason are both in the race today, Dale sent the regular Busch Series pit crew to work with Jason. He recruited his Robert Yates Winston Cup guys to come out and change his tires for him. They did a great job picking him up 4 spots this time.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go green here, Ken. Going to race.
53 complete when they come by to take green with Bobby Labonte up in front. It'll be Mark Martin in 2nd, Kenseth 3rd, Earnhardt now 4th, Jarrett 5th, Nemechek 6th, McLaughlin 7th, Spencer raced into turn 1, followed by Presley, Sawyer, and the big loser there was LePage. He fell back to 15th. Here we go for the lead.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to LePage. He must have had a terrible pit stop.
Labonte and Martin, 1st and 2nd. Great show.
Kevin Swat there in the 88 down in the corner there. Bobby Labonte can't get track position to really get the fast way around the racetrack, and Mark Martin's closing up on him as he comes down the front stretch.
Well, you know, Watts does a pretty good job, but he's a rookie, too, and so they're cutting him a little slack here, giving him a little extra room, I'm sure. See, he just run Bobby up the hill there, and that's what he was kind of figuring on.
Darrell, this is exactly what Bobby Labonte did just at the start of the race. As it went along, he got better, but he's dropping back through the pack right now. That car's set up for long runs, and not that good right at the first.
Yeah, well, Swamp got him running up the hill there down in morning, too. That hurt him a little bit. He'll come back.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. up again. He continues to ramble along up through the field.
I about wore Baker out, telling him he was going to take the lead here for long. Baker said, oh, he ain't there yet.
Well, I tell you what, he's a steam engine right now. As you see Lance Hooper there, who was in that altercation just a second ago. Move over and let Earnhardt get after Mark Martin as they head down the back straightaway.
Now, you can believe one thing. I don't know where Big Dale is, but I bet he's telling him right now, now, you just stay behind that 60 car a while and watch what he does. And you watch what Dale Jr. does.
Oh, no, they make contact there.
Good grief.
Kevin Schwantz. Mark Martin just gave him a little tap, and away he wipeout.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a lot of damage to the right front corner of his car as he goes down into turn 1 there and starts off the racetrack.
Yeah, what happened there was Dale Jr. saw what he thought that car was going to turn and come back across the racetrack. He got on the brakes. When he did, it shot him in the outside wall.
There's the 88. Kevin Schwantz badly smashed up.
Like I said, I ought to cut that boy a little extra slack.
Lap 56. Kevin Schwantz moving inside the car after thumping at better than 180 miles per hour into the concrete. Take a look at the 3 car here.
Yeah, he's done. He smacked the heck out of the wall down here in turn 4. That's too bad.
Made a move on the outside to get out of it. Collected that outside wall instead. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Lap 56. Looks like it may be the end of his day. Has a streak of 6 straight top 10s. The last 3 races haven't been good to him. Fourth annual Goodwill Games from New York, featuring Michelle Kwan and 1,500 other great athletes in 15 sports. It commences July 19th on TBS Superstation. There you see Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah,
Last 3 races, not good. 32nd at Talladega, 10th at Loudon, 28th at Nazareth. This will be another way back.
Yeah, and of course he parked the thing right down there in front of Dale Sr. So I'm sure he didn't want to have to do that, but he did. And right now I know how he feels. He said, "Man, I had a car to win the race, and I hate what happened," and that makes it even worse. And he's trying to explain to the crew, you know, I got on the brake, shot me in the wall. And
longest walk in sport. Here's Alan Bestwood.
Ken, we saw Kevin Schwantz was one of those involved in the crash. Kevin had moved up from 24th starting spot to 15th until he cut down a left rear tire, had to make a stop under the green flag. That's what put him a lap down and up there on the restart when he got involved with Martin and some of the other front runners. Tough break. That's the 2nd accident for him this weekend. He was involved in a crash on Thursday that damaged one of his other race cars. That is the story on Kevin Schwantz, the former world motorcycle champion. Now let's go further up pit road.
You're right now with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Dale. Boy, tough break for you.
Yeah, it is, man. We had a real good race car with AC Ducko Chevrolet, but I guess that one fella, he needs to go back on them 2-wheel motorcycles, get out of these 4-wheel cars, because everywhere he goes, he crashes. Race the leaders like that, a lap down, and here we are again with a wadded-up race car.
Can you get it fixed?
Yeah, we're going to get it fixed. We got a points championship to win.
All right, let's go down pit road.
All right, Mike. Darrell Waltrip was wondering what had happened to Kevin LePage on the pit stop. He came in 3rd or 4th and went out 13th. Well, they had a problem. Some lug nuts got hung up, so that dropped him back, but he has worked his way back up to 11th. Now, we got to keep an eye on Joe Nemechek. He's won here before. We also hear a report that his water is way too hot. Let's check in now with Randy Pemberton.
Well, Jimmy Spencer has gone from 35th to 11th, but when that wreck occurred on the front stretch as they careened off the wall, he had to get on the binders very hard, went into the infield grass, and what it did was it clipped the front balance on the left-hand corner and buckled it back underneath just a little bit. The crew has taken some binoculars and taken a look at it. They're trying to decide whether they have to come in, but they're not going to give up track position right now. They're going to fix it on the next stop. Back to the booth.
Spencer in 6th, started 35th, and there you see a little bit of flare on that number 12 that wasn't there originally. Take a look at the wreck that has brought out the 3rd caution of the day.
Well, here's Mark Martin. He runs up behind Schwantz there, and he wants to get under him. And I'm not sure he ever touched him. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, well, I am pretty sure he did touch him. And, of course, Dale Jr., he just didn't know where that car was going to go, and he got on the brakes and shot him in the outside retaining wall. So I guess you'd have to give Schwantz a break there, thinking, you know, he's trying to get a lap back.
And there's the number 3 tapping the wall.
Yeah, and the 17 got into the back of the 3, too. So that's why he's been in the pits.
See Bobby Labonte there and Dale Jarrett going across the grass to avoid the Earnhardt car that was going towards the infield there. You never know when they hit the wall that hard whether they have any steering at all.
We'll take a break with 58 and 200 laps complete here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the CarQuest Auto Park 300, and it's a wild one. Tomorrow, join us and over 170,000 fans right here at Charlotte for the running of the 39th Coca-Cola 600. Begins at 5:35 tomorrow. Jeff Gordon will lead the field down to the green flag. And don't miss live in-car camera racing at tbssuperstation.com during tomorrow's Coca-Cola 600 on the Superstation. Larry McReynolds.
Again, I'm standing in Mark Martin's pit. He pitted a while ago with the leaders. They debated and debated about what to change on the car. The only characteristics his car had is it pushed behind other cars. It took the downforce off the front end. But they decided, hey, we got a good race car. We don't want to mess around and get this thing loose. So let's just put 4 tires on. Let's see what this next set does for us. Ken?
Take a look at those leaders. Mark Martin there. The fella he was just talking about. Right behind him, Bobby Labonte. Then comes Dale Jarrett and Mike McLaughlin, making himself and his presence felt at the present time, buddy.
Yeah, he's the first of the Busch regulars that run every week in this division, and he's running very, very well. Points leader, as you said, and I tell you, there's a lot of talent right there.
Yeah, he's going to get married, too.
Yeah, he said he's going to do it when the season's over. And Buddy was saying yesterday, well, the way I have that season figured, it'll be about 3 years.
Yeah, racers have a different interpretation, don't they?
Hey, by the way, Kenseth is back in 30th position. That number 17 that we saw carrying that lead for the start of the race, now back in 30th.
Yeah, he tapped Dale in the back end there and bent the front end down. He had to come in and work on that, but he did get it fixed, and he is back out on the track, so he should be okay.
Now, Spencer stays 7th. Are you surprised, buddy, he hasn't pulled in with that little rumple up in front that might be a concern?
You know, track position is so very important that he may feel that the damage is not enough to warrant coming in and losing track position. He may can draft along and not worry about advancing real quick and be able to hang on to that front group until he makes his next pit stop.
Mike McLaughlin back there in 4th. We asked Mike a little earlier about the big difference between this year and last year for this guy from New York.
Usually I seem to strive about mid-season. You know, I start to get a rhythm and things come together. This year, the guys have just been preparing good cars. I think we're communicating a lot better, you know, the big guys, Steve Elway, Gary Cogswell, and I. We work with the chassis mostly, the 3 of us. So we're communicating better. Stops have been good. That's important. You know, Toby and I have a good relationship up in the spotter stand. All those things add up to a championship team.
Old Magic Shoes, only modified champion in NASCAR.
Yeah, he is. He's a great young guy, and well, just fun to watch him do well.
We mentioned he's going to get married. Katie Gregory is the girl's name, and boy, they are a wonderful-looking couple.
Here they are out of turn number 4, down for a start with 63 laps complete. Pace car coming in. Gillette Martin in front, Labonte second, Jarrett third, McLaughlin fourth, Nemechek fifth, and Presley sixth. Jimmy Spencer back there in 7th. Kevin LePage has come back to 10th. Outside front row starter. Stack them 3 deep going down into turn number 1 just to get things off to a good start.
Yeah, well, those 2 lap cars, they got to get side by side and, you know, cause a little problem there. So nothing they can do about it, but it sure does make it tough.
3 cautions thus far on the day. The latest, Kevin Swan's getting caught up and socking the wall in turn number 4. Mark Martin back in front. He had let the 44 through. Wanted to use him for a while, and Bobby Labonte returned the favor. Bobby Labonte pulled right back and said, no, I just as soon ride back here in the rocking chair.
Yeah, I think he did a Mark Martin on him. He got out front there for a lap or 2, and then all of a sudden he said, no, Mark, you lead, and just pulled down, let it go.
There's an answer about whether Jimmy Spencer has a problem or not as he takes a low line there trying to go back. Joe Nemechek down the back straightaway. The car looks to be running quite well, line handling pretty good.
Nemechek in 5th, but no longer.
He's fighting back on the outside. They're side by side down the front straightaway.
Yeah, these 9-to-1 motors, they don't have a lot of low-end torque. So if you can run that higher line and keep that thing wound up, you'll get a little bit better burst of speed off these corners.
Right behind them, Robert Presley and Alton Sawyer, 7th and 8th. Dillon in 10th. Let's go to Steve Burns.
And Ken, we had a report earlier that Joe Nemechek's engine was running hot. Brian Petty's the crew chief. How about it, Brian?
Joe made some pretty good moves out there on the front stretch to miss that big wreck. I think we just got some grass on the grill, but I think the Bus Moose Chevrolet is going to run great. Try to keep it cool.
see what happens.
Yeah.
As they said then, Joe Nemechek got into the outside wall coming off turn 4.
Yeah, he did. Him and Spencer, Spencer was pushing him up, and he got into a little bit of the loose stuff and hit it.
Let's watch and see what happened there. This is your telemetry here as we ride with Joe Nemechek. You see he's off the pace right now, 8,000 down the straightaway and 175 miles an hour in the turn.
There you see Elton Sawyer driving down to the inside.
Yeah, and you notice that RPM doesn't drop down that much through the turns. You know, he's staying up around 7,000, so, and the speed doesn't fall off that much. That shows you how fast these cars are through the corners.
But Nemechek has dropped down into 8th position.
Yeah, and we're looking at a car right now that has damage. I mean, he bounced that thing off the wall hard, so he's probably being a little bit conservative with the thing right now.
LePage has come to 7th, Sawyer to 6th, Spencer up to 5th, Buddy.
And, Buddy, you see how he picked up about 2 or 3 miles an hour there when he got behind somebody? So that's that little bit of draft. But that car's not handling like
Not at all. As Jeff Burton right there is trying to go by on the inside. I think Joe Nemechek right now is evaluating how hard he hit that outside wall, off the pace just a little bit as he's dropping back through the field.
Yeah, he's going to see it. He doesn't have any tires of it because there's no smoke, so he feels good about that, but it probably has hurt the handle on the car. So.
The 2 winners last year in the 300 milers on this track, it was Nemechek fighting rather one of the winners because it was Jimmy Spencer who beat Martin in that second race. A couple of front runners. Side by side with Nemechek launched the win of the wall.
Boy, when you see them all packed up like this, you just kind of hold your breath because this is what causes wrecks. These cars don't wreck themselves. People make mistakes in big traffic like this. As you see everybody right now trying that preferred line there, running 2 and 3 wide all the way around this racetrack. Very exciting racing here at Charlotte.
Well, all it takes, you know, is somebody slip a little bit, or somebody not get back in the gas, or somebody just make just change the way they ran the corner the last time, and the guy behind them runs into them. Or you get a car on the outside of you, and it will suck the back end around when the car is a little bit loose.
Number 8 car, Bobby Hillin becoming a factor now.
You see Jim Baum there, he was a real factor at the first part of this race, and as we said, he had a pretty slow pit stop, but he's fighting right now with Robert Presley, and they're going at it around this racetrack. As you see Robert Presley finally getting the stop.
There's Baum. Had a great qualifying run, started inside of the second row, just in front of Randy LaJoy.
Through the course of
15.
Through the course of these pit stops, you're going to see the good cars are going to stay good, but some of the other cars back in the field can adjust, and all of a sudden they'll be picking up and moving forward. So that's what happens. Just air pressure, a little wedge, and get the car better for the driver, then he can move forward.
We'll take a commercial break and be back as we watch Mark Martin and Bobby Labonte continue first and second. Dale Jarrett's in third, and his son's doing pretty well. Up to 21st is Jason.
The CarQuest Auto Parts 300 on TBS is brought to you by Everstart Battery. All the cold cranking power your truck, car, boat, or more will ever need. Available at Walmart. And by Castrol Syntec, the active lubricant.
77 laps, 115.5 miles complete this time by. Here's your battle for the lead. Bobby Labonte on the inside. Mark Martin on the outside. Give it back to Bobby Labonte.
Well, I tell you what, those two cars are pretty evenly matched. Mark gets through 3 and 4 a little bit better. Seems like Bobby gets through 1 and 2 a little bit better, but they're real, real close.
See Bobby Labonte there in the 44 coming off turn 2 and down the back straightaway. You see Mark Martin pulling right up on his back bumper as they head down into turn 3. And as Darrell just mentioned, you can see him using a little different line there, making a wider approach into turn 3 than does Bobby Labonte.
You can believe one thing. Mark's car is not handling like he wants it to, or he wouldn't be up off that white line, because that thing has white line fever most of the time.
And Bobby Labonte in that car that brushed the wall yesterday in that final practice. We sure got that one sorted out. Bobby Labonte owns the team, but he's here driving as a substitute for Tony Stewart, as we mentioned. Tony Stewart driving for Team Menard, starting inside of the second row at Indy.
Kevin LePage is making a run right now on Mike McLaughlin. As they come off turn 4, he pulls even down the front straightaway. This kid's on a run right here. Kevin LePage is a favorite of everybody because he's doing it with smoke and mirrors this year. Great people working on the race car and proving he has a lot of driving talent as he moves into 4th place.
Jarrett 3rd, Martin 2nd. Bobby Labonte in the lead with 80 now complete.
Hey, the front 7 or 8 cars there are all very, very closely matched. I mean, there is a little gap between each little group there, but they're hanging together pretty well for this point of the race.
Watching Dale Jarrett in 3rd place just a second ago. He's dropping back just a little bit now, and Kevin LePage is moving in on him as they head down towards the back straightaway.
Yeah, they reported that Dale's car's a little tight off the corner, and you can see it. So that's where Kevin really closes on him. He's coming off both corners.
There you see that number 44, 7 to pole, and here comes the number 60 back one more time.
Mark Martin making life miserable. Bobby Labonte down the front straightaway. You see him taking the lead, going down towards turn 1.
Great shot from that Winn-Dixie Ford. He shoots the gap, goes back into 1st place. Now he's going to widen out to that interval back to 3rd and 4th. And there you have LePage now in 3rd.
He just went around Jarrett down there.
Jarrett's in 4th. For more on Kevin LePage, let's go down to Steve Burns.
Ken, that car Kevin LePage is giving such a good ride has an interesting history. Patty Moise used to drive this team 2 years ago, and she drove that car to a 10th place, or top 10 finish at Talladega. Kevin LePage drove it at Bristol this year. The car had just sat in the corner of Doug Taylor's shop for about 2 years. They ran it at Bristol, got it home from Bristol, took all the sheet metal off of it, and reskinned it, and here it is at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Sure giving it a ride. There you see that 32, Jarrett in 4th, followed by McLaughlin, now in 5th. And look at Jimmy Spencer. He's in 6th, and he's under challenge. Number 9, Burton is there.
Well, that's an injured race car and one that's not. Jeff Burton takes the spot as they head down into turn 1, but Spencer is running very, very well. The left front corner of that car got damaged as he was avoiding a wreck earlier today, and you can see the tear right at the top of the fender on the number 12 there. What that does, that reduces the downforce of the car and really probably changes the handling somewhat on the car.
Well, it can. It can make it better sometimes because you lose some of that front downforce. Got trouble over on the back.
Bound. Jimmy Bound bounces one off the fence. Number 51 that had qualified 3rd brings out the 4th caution of the day at lap number 84. 126 miles deep into this 300-miler. What a bad break for Dick Bound, his dad, Jimmy, and that one employee. Small team have really given him a good run today, but it looks like it may end right here. We'll take a quick break and be back with you. 85 laps are complete. Bound seems to be okay. We'll check on that for you in a moment and be back with more from Charlotte. Leaders taking advantage of the 4th caution of the day. There you see them on pit road. Mark Martin almost first out. McLaughlin slipped by him. You see Bobby Labonte moving, as well as Kevin LePage, the number 40 on the bottom of your screen.
LePage is getting killed in the pits. That's the 6 seconds he gave up right there. So he's hurting when he comes to pitting, but he got a fast race car, so he's making up for it on the racetrack.
He's not driving. He is racing. He's keeping it up there, but it isn't because of the pit stop.
No, it didn't. I'd see what happened if they pit under green.
Pit position, yeah. If track position is everything, that pit stop is not going to get it.
No, he's going to be very unhappy.
Mike Hogwood.
So Mark Martin had a routine pit stop, 4 tires fuel. They did bump up the spoiler a little bit, wants it to handle just a little bit better. Mark Martin wants to overtake Labonte and take it to the point. Let's go to Steve Burns.
And Mike, we're here in Joe Nemechek's pits. They made an air adjustment, and also they had a problem with something hanging on the hood. I can show you it right here. It's a piece of netting that's used to hold down the grass, but they got that pulled away from the hood of Joe Nemechek's car. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, Jimmy, Spencer was in, and he took some significant time here on pit road. He's now probably about the last lead car. What happened was they had to pull out the front balance from that earlier accident, so they took some time, took some hammer to it, and also changed 4 tires while they were in. Took some tape off the grill, also a round of bite out of for Jimmy Spencer. So some significant changes for Spencer. Back out. Alan Bestwick.
We have a new leader, and I'm standing in his pit. Dale Jarrett's team took fuel only on this stop. They picked him up 4 spots on the last time changing tires. This time, through a little pit strategy, they put their man out in front. Let's go upstairs.
Jimmy Spencer penalized for being too fast on pit road. As you look at the leader, number 32, Dale Jarrett. Spencer being penalized. He's back in 28th spot. There's the incident with Jim Bound, Portland, Oregon, number 51, that has brought out this 4th caution and given an opportunity for the field to pull on the pit road. He is qualified 3rd. Great effort in qualifying. Here's your new leader. Jarrett's there. And we're going to have one of that green gang from Owensboro, Kentucky, starting in the 2nd spot. It will be number 37. That will be rolling out Jeff Green in 2nd spot. Back live to the 2nd turn of the 1st lap under green after that 4th caution. You're watching Dale Jarrett, number 32, lead the way. Mark Green has been in 3rd. In 2nd. He has dropped back to 3rd as Bobby Labonte takes over that 2nd spot for the moment. And Mark Green out of Owensboro, Kentucky, maintaining 3rd. He had that great race at Texas where he led for over 60 laps.
Yeah, and he did it the same way he's doing it today. They come in and took on right sides only, and you can see he's not really handicapped by that. If he moved to the inside there and took a look at Dale Jarrett trying to make a move there for 2nd spot.
Yeah, he's not handicapped near as bad as Jarrett is, who didn't take any tires. So I think we'll see Jarrett. I don't know if that's a good move or not.
Oh, boy, here comes Mike McLaughlin on the inside there, taking over the spot, though. Mark Green moving to the high side of the racetrack. Here comes Mark Martin in the 60. And right, boy, when you get to the outside, it looks like a train going by.
Yeah, breathtaking.
Dangerous part. You get them all bunched up. You've got 28 cars running that lead pack. Jimmy Spencer on the tail end of that group, trying to get his way back up through.
Here comes Mike McLaughlin trying to get 2nd spot from Jarrett down the back straightaway. And I guarantee you Mark will jump to the inside there. Dale Jarrett on the outside. He fights back, though. It's not a real disadvantage to some of the good cars to be on the outside, but he did lose the spot.
Mark Martin giving some help to McLaughlin to pull him up into that 2nd position.
You might point out that Jimmy Spencer got penalized for speeding on pit road. That's why he's not up in the front right now. He's in the back of the lead pack.
And they've dropped that speed limit on pit road down considerably, only 45 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's, you know, you're doing 180 on the racetrack and trying to slow it down to 45 in the pit. It's marginal.
It's going to be the same story tomorrow.
Same deal. Yeah.
In the 600.
Mike McLaughlin making a move on Bobby Labonte on the inside as they come off turn 4. And here comes Mark Martin on the inside with him.
McLaughlin got that thing juiced up, whatever they did to it on the pit stop. I'm telling you that.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. He just drove by all of them. Well, he drove by all of them except that one, and that one was behind him. It's going to drive by him.
Well, we have a lead change. Mark Martin going down into turn 3. McLaughlin on the top side. And just behind him. Look at McLaughlin, though. His car on the outside didn't lose that much. But where they've been losing is right there, coming off turn 4.
Well, the 17 car has done a great job of fighting back, buddy. He was, you know, in the pits after that incident with Bob Dale Jr., and he's fought his way back up into the top 10 and closing on the lead pack.
And the 17 back to 9th.
I am definitely impressed with McLaughlin. He's over there fighting by himself on the outside and holding a good battle for the lead right now with Mark Martin, not giving up anything and moving back into the lead going into turn 3. Look at Jack Roush in the hat there. He's watching his drivers. They go around here. He'll give him a little advice if he thinks he needs it, too.
Well, he may have told Mark to let the 34 car run its course, because normally Mark's car will pick up and get faster to run long.
Not. Here comes Mark Martin again on the inside.
Although it is a Chevrolet on the outside, so Jack may not like that. He may say, Mark, put that Ford out front.
Again, it's the same story. McLaughlin fighting back again.
97 laps complete. Last 3 of them side by side, buddy. Back to the stripe. Martin and McLaughlin still at it. Larry McReynolds.
Well, Ken Squire, we're getting close to the halfway point here, and we've got this halfway strategy we're going to talk about. You know, these guys can run about 75 laps on fuel. So if they get a caution up there around lap 120 or 125, they want to get in here, get that car full of fuel, and get those 4 fresh tires on. Now, something we haven't is these guys only can change 3 sets of tires for caution. So the thing about it, Mark Martin, Bobby Labonte, they've used 2 sets. Alan Bestwick, what about Dale Jarrett?
Well, that's the twist of Dale Jarrett not taking tires on this most recent stop. He's got an extra set of tires. And here at Charlotte, if we get a late caution and the number of cars on the lead lap thins out and Jarrett's the only one with a set of tires left he can put on, he could be real tough to handle in the closing laps. We'll have to see how that plays out in the final miles.
There you see Martin, number 60 in front, McLaughlin in second, Labonte, number 44, in third, and then Sawyer, Alton Sawyer in fourth. And what a job he's done. Fifth is that number 9 of Burton, yellow car, followed by Joe Nemechek. LePage is back up into 7th. Kevin LePage into 7th with 10th to 8th. LaJoy now in 9th and Jarrett 10th as we come to halfway.
Matt Kenseth has done a great job. He had to stop a while ago, fix his car, took some dead last all the way back up to 8th now.
Halfway coming by.
That's what they were fighting for, Ken, was that halfway money, because I think it pays, a few $1,000 to lead this thing at halfway. That's what McLaughlin was trying to do with Martin there, was try to get that halfway money, I believe.
And Martin gets the halfway money. Halfway in the event with Mark Martin out in front as he was a year ago. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
Jim Bound didn't make it halfway, just returned from the infield care center. Are you okay, Jim? What happened?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Well, a number of things happened. First, we had a spring rubber fall out, which made the left rear real loose coming out the corner. Then we left a wheel loose on the pit stop, but we were trying to ride it out. We thought it might be okay. Then there's something broke in the rear end pump and started spewing grease on the left rear tires. Basically, I was trying to go too fast for what I had left to work with. It was just one of them things. But today, the Rosado Record Chevrolet got tore up, but I'm hoping we can pick up a sponsor and keep going.
All right, Jim Bound out for today.
Younger brother of Chuck Bound. Jimmy Bound, who qualified third, gave it a run.
Well, I tell you, Elton Sawyer is just now putting a move on Mike McLaughlin down the back straightaway there to go into 4th place. We hadn't said a whole lot about Elton Sawyer, but he is doing a whale of a job this afternoon in that last barber saw, whatever that thing is, Ford.
Number 38.
Some kind of saw.
I tell you what he's doing. He's making it tough on Mike McLaughlin as they head down through the last part of the dogleg there. Jeff Burton's just behind him there. And he can't figure out where he needs to go. Do I need to follow McLaughlin or Sawyer? Right now, it looks like Sawyer may have a half a car length advantage. Well, here comes McLaughlin back on the outside.
Yeah, McLaughlin's got a lot of straightaway speed, and he really gets into 3 hard right there. He really carries the thing in hard, but it hurts him coming off because it causes the car to go up the hill.
And just behind that yellow car of Burton, you've got Nemechek and LePage right there.
Yeah, Nemechek's doing a good job of coming back after scraping the wall. I think he probably felt better after that caution and he got to check his car over.
Nemechek in 6th and LePage in 7th. Randy?
Well, Elton Sawyer, interesting story on him here this weekend. This automobile, the engines were built by Keith Roberts for over 2 seasons. But this weekend, they flat out could not make this car run. They went to Jack Roush. They said, Jack, we would like to put one of your engines in this car. They got Mark Martin's backup engine in this machine here today. Now, for 35 races, this team had no problems at all with Keith Roberts' engines, but 7 of the last 14, they have had significant problems, and Keith Roberts has resigned, but that's a Roush motor in that machine here this afternoon.
Well, I tell you one thing, that sucker's running right now, and he's closing down on that lead pack, and boy, Jack Roush, he must enjoy racing a lot, because every car out there he has something to do with.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte is just like a rocket ship out there right now. He went by Mark Martin just a second ago, and he looked like he's really handling well. This car is excellent on long runs.
There you see it. Here's that mid-race summary for you from Winn-Dixie. 6 leaders thus far, 15 lead changes. Average speed down to 116 miles an hour with 4 cautions, and 4 of the 43 starters have retired. And there you see the list of those that will be DNFs today. Schwantz, Blaney, Keller, and Bound thus far in the going. Really impressed by Alton Sawyer up in 3rd, and Mrs. Sawyer's back there in 26. Patty Louise, number 14, still running that lead lap. No, she's a lap down. She's gone 1 back.
Yeah. Just moving around Robert Presley there. Robert's usually a fast car, so he's not having a very good day.
He's back in 28. That's number 59. Right there on the high side, and they're just mowing it down. Here comes Nemechek under. Nemechek is in fifth position. McLaughlin fourth, just in front of him.
And Kevin LePage there in the blue car. You see him wiggling just a little bit off turn 4. He'd probably pass more cars here than anyone else today. He's fighting back from the pit stop. It's a little empty, but he has really put up a great race today. He's driving the wheels off of that car.
Well, Nemechek's mom looking on here.
Yeah, there's Miss Martha. What a sweet lady. I tell you, her heart and her soul was right in that race car with Joe Nemechek.
And their heart and soul was here last year when he won this race.
And he's not out of it yet either. I tell you, he's coming back pretty well from a little bit of trouble he had early on.
Matt Kenseth there in the 17 come from dead last after a long pit stop to fix the front end on the car. And just behind him, Randy LaJoie has soldiered along and put himself in contention here.
Yeah, he has. He's done a great job as well.
Kenseth in 8th, and that number 74 of LaJoie now in 9th. And Hillen in the number 8 is in 10th spot. Bobby Hillen having a good run here today. We'll take a quick break at lap 108 and be back with more of the CarQuest Auto Parts 300. 113 laps are now showing on the leaderboard here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the CarQuest Auto Parts 300, 169.5 miles as we watch right now Mark Martin scoot back around Bobby Labonte as this fight continues for first place, back and forth between these two.
I think Mark might have looked in the rearview mirror and saw Elton Sawyer there all of a sudden, the red car in 3rd spot as they head off into turn 1. Elton Sawyer is really marching towards the front, Darrell.
He's got a great car. He's handling well. And of course, I know Elton is one of those kind of drivers that he is holding a little something just in reserve.
And this is his best race of 1998, that's for sure. At a 10th at Talladega. He always seems star-crossed. If there's any bad luck, Elton seems to find it. He's such a good guy and a good race driver, too. But it hasn't worked his way. Right now, it's working his way up to 3rd spot.
And closing. I mean, he's closing down on Mark and Bobby pretty quickly.
The number 8 car of Hillen, that needs a call, into 9th spot today. He started for 41st. Bobby Hillen's having a good run, and Steve Burns can give us more.
Yeah, you're right, Ken. Great story on Bobby Hillen. He struggled to get financing together with his own team. He has hooked up with several Major League Baseball players, including Gary Gaetti, Pete Stewart, and Hal Morris. Well, just this week, there he is, Big Mac. Mark McGuire joined the team in an ownership position on Tuesday, and on the very day they made the announcement, McGuire hit not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs.
This could start a whole new trend.
Yeah.
If you're having a bad day at the plate, get yourself a race car.
Yeah.
All right, there's Martin and Labonte, still 1 and 2, 116 laps of 200 now complete. And Elton Sawyer right there in 3rd. Meanwhile, McLaughlin stays 4th, Nemechek 5th. The LePage story has changed somewhat. Yeah, he's dropped back to 12th.
His car's gotten loose. I've watched him the last several laps, and he's really having a problem getting that thing off the corner. It's gotten real loose on him.
Now, if you're just joining us this morning at over 190 miles per hour, LePage slammed the fence down in turns 1 and 2, and he wiped out his car for tomorrow. Felix Savetas has given him another car. He'll be out to test it when they get to that happy hour period, that final critical time when you check them out, make sure you're ready to run for $2.5 million tomorrow in the 39th annual Coca-Cola 600. And you'll see that happy hour, or unhappy for some, right after this race here today on TBS. Are you ready for tomorrow, DW?
Well, I think so. We've had an awful good race car all weekend. We didn't qualify very well, but you know what? It's been my experience. Sometimes a car doesn't qualify good. It makes a good race car.
Here's Kenseth on the move, and with him comes Spencer. LaJoie relegated back to 9th position.
LaJoie lost control of the car coming out of turn 2 and was very lucky to hold on to control. Lost 4 or 5 positions down the back straightaway, but it could have been a car.
Well, I believe it might have white paint on the back of it. If you look at it real close. I think that 12 car may have bumped into that 74 car over there.
Like Hillen picked himself up 10th in all of that scramble.
Yeah, they all checked up over there when I believe the 12 and the 74 may have gotten together, but Randy could have just lost it in front of him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Jimmy Spencer's another story. Started in the rear and come all the way back up. They were working on the left front fender that was damaged in a wreck on the front straightaway. He's battled his way back into contention now.
Best run for LaJoy in some time in that 74. And for Spencer, there you see it, the number 12, brand new car. Really didn't have time. He sorted it out in a 40-lap hooligan race, the consolation round, which he won yesterday afternoon. That was the sort out.
Yeah.
On the move in this race, Spencer currently wrapping right through traffic.
Hey, look at that, 21. Uncle Mike. Mikey's up to, he's up to 9th.
I was wondering when you don't mention your
You're
brother.
not supposed to do family favoritism.
Well, I know, but Leroy, he'll get all ticked off if I'm, you know, the boy's doing a pretty good job here, obviously.
Leroy's the father.
That's Michael Waltrip right there.
There he is. He got a Band-Aid on the side of that thing. I bet he's just all smiles.
He's up to 9th. He's a former winner of this 300-mile race.
Look at this. Elton Sawyer has gotten by Bobby Labonte, our pole setter, and now he's trying to reel in the race leader now, Mark Martin.
I think what you're seeing right now is a huge transition in the way some of these cars are handling. I think Kevin LePage, for instance, who was one of the fastest cars here most of the race, is falling back through the field at an incredible rate. And some cars are starting to handle really, really poorly out there right now.
Look at this, Darrell. You're looking back out of the back of Mark Martin's car as he heads into turn 3. The car right down on the bottom of the racetrack. You don't see any wiggling in this race car. It's handling.
No, but you know what he is doing? He's looking at me and saying, who is that in that red and black car back there anyway? Where did he come from?
Elton Sawyer from Chesapeake, Virginia is that red and black car back there with the white number.
Yeah.
One win, 94. Myrtle Beach. There you see the interval, first to second. As 38-year-old Elton Sawyer tries to close it up on the 32-time winner. The new high mark for Grand National competitors is 32, and that man, Mark Martin in front, has set it. And Elton Sawyer's coming after it.
You know the one thing about records never show how hard people try. Elton Sawyer has been up front and should have won 10 times the races he's run. But he, just like you said, had bad luck right near the end of many, many races.
Actually quit driving for a while and worked on a team. Things got so bad for him. He had said, I'm just going to quit driving. And did for quite a while before he got back in the sport.
Best finish in this race, 1986, 12th. This is his 10th performance in the 300. And he's closing up. He is getting closer to Mark Martin. Take a look moments ago. Ooh, a little loose.
Ooh, Jeff Fuller was very lucky not to lose the number 89.
Look at Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett went down through the grass. And now Dale Jarrett, I think that's Dale coming in the pit.
Jeff Fuller had been running in 12. This is going to back him up that's considerably. He's back to 23rd.
Here comes Jimmy Spencer down the back straightaway. Lance Hooper was in a wreck earlier in the race. That's why he's off the pace. Jimmy Spencer moves it through the field.
Up to 6. White red numeral number 12 of Jimmy Spencer, who gave us that incredible race here last year with Mark Martin right to the wire. Will it happen that way this year? We'll see. 130 laps of 200 have now been completed here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway with Darrell Waltrip and Buddy Baker. Delighted to have you with us for this CarQuest 300 today, the prelude to tomorrow's great running of the 39th annual Coca-Cola 600. And Mr. Baker, what a show we've had thus far in this one.
Absolutely. These guys are going at it like it's the last lap every lap. Exciting race.
And there goes Brother Mike. By the way, that is my brother, not my son. Unlike Dale Jarrett, that's his son. That's my brother. I just wanted to straighten that out. Because I get accused of that a lot of times.
Here we go.
Tough when they get old, isn't it?
Anyway.
Tough when they get older.
Just wanted to be sure people understood.
Yeah, they do. How old are you officially?
I do not have an official age.
Well,
I have an unofficial age
Darrell,
of 50.
what you're supposed to do is look at Michael Waltrip down the front straightaway, clipping the grass as he goes through the dog leg. 185 miles an hour into turn 1.
See, that's how Baker became a pro.
Yeah, I know. But see, he would. I'll probably say the same thing about him that my wife always said about me. What does it feel like to go that 200 mile an hour? I don't know. He ain't never went that fast.
Oh! I think so.
Mark Martin continues to be the leader. Elton Sawyer is the surprise in second place. And it's Bobby Labonte in third with Joe Nemechek fourth. Jimmy Spencer's in fifth. Mike McLaughlin along in sixth. Michael Waldrop seventh. Matt Kenseth back to eighth. Up to ninth is Bobby Hill, and LaJoy cracks the top 10. Among those, I tell you what, there's a great story among those Jarretts. There they are, father and son running 14th and 15th. Hopefully we'll get a little glimpse of that here in a moment.
Well, that's the son doing what the father told him. He said, you follow me all day long. If I go to the bathroom, you go with me.
I hope he doesn't stop quickly.
I don't think anybody's giving Elton Sawyer any instructions because he is reeling in Mark Martin as we speak. He's got it down to about a 7-8 car length lead. As you can see down the back straightaway, Martin Martin passing the lap car on the inside. Elton Sawyer is just behind him.
Go, 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 go.
Left side, come on. Jeff Purvis is one of the cars. That's him and the four there.
That's Jason Jarrett.
Oh, man.
Was tucked right in with his dad. That doesn't look like too much damage on the 11 as they bring it around. I'll give you some highlight replay coverage of what's happened here at lap number 135 on your program. 135. And the front end to Kimball on car number 4 for Jeff Purvis.
Ooh, there's your problem.
There's your problem.
Yeah.
Touching for Jason.
Well, the cars, I tell you, the cars right now, Kevin LePage was coming in the pits. The cars have just really gotten the ill handling. Everybody would seem like they had their hands full with these things right at this point in the race.
Jason, the Jet, just got defused out there. We'll take a break at lap 135 and come back and show you the highlights of what has brought out this fifth caution of the day.
A promotional fee and considerations have been paid by the following. By LCI. Race fans, new LCI residential long-distance customers receive 30 minutes free domestic calling and the World Card Plus calling card featuring participating drivers. Don't delay. Call now. By LA West Luxury Vans, the world's ultimate sport utility vehicle. Call now, 1-800-786-VANS. By Simpson, the 1998 Team Simpson Racing Catalog is now available. For more information, call Simpson or visit the Simpson website and join Team Simpson today. And by Featherlight, the official trailer of NASCAR, IndyCar, and the World of Outlaws. Remember to call Featherlight for all your trailer needs.
Back live, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tomorrow, every seat is sold. 5:35 will be on the air Eastern to bring you the 39th Coca-Cola 600. They'll take the green flag shortly after 6 o'clock. Now, the replays on this, the fifth or sixth caution of the day, we're up to number 5. This is how it happened up here in turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like Jarrett just got turned around backwards there. And
there goes Jeff Purvis. He got on the brakes. He probably got hit by that car going through the infield there in the back. Turned him into the outside wall. You can see everybody else working very hard to miss these cars as they spin.
And that's the second car he's torn up this weekend because he crashed qualifying. So not a good week for the Eat a Snacks folks.
Steve Burns.
And Bobby Labonte was just in, Ken. They made a lot of adjustments. Bobby was complaining that the car was very loose, as Darrell Waltrip speculated. Some cars starting to handle on the ill side. They made an air pressure adjustment, and they took 3 rounds out of the left rear. Now, they did have a bit of a problem. They tried to add a spring rubber into the right front, but Jeff Chandler, who's on the Winston Cup crew, in fact, most of this crew is from Bobby Labonte's Winston Cup crew. They couldn't get the rubber in the spring, so it'll be interesting to see how the car handles. All those moves are interrelated. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, 2-time defending series champion Randy LaJoy absolutely needed that caution flag. They came down pit road. 4 tires on the 74 car, a round of bite in the left rear, trying to correct the loose condition. Also, Elton Sawyer, 4 tires on his car. Right side tires only for Jimmy Spencer.
There you see LaJoy's number 74. Let's go to Alan Bestwick.
Ken, Dale Jarrett needed this pit stop very badly. Remember, he took no tires on his last stop. Had fallen as far back as 17th in line, had come up to 14th at the time of the yellow. Now he's got fresh tires. He's 9th in line on the restart. And remember that if we get another caution flag sometime in the final 70, 60 laps of this race, he's still got another set of fresh tires he can put on. Nobody else does. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
Mark Martin had also begun to complain of some handling problems. His car was too tight, so they've loosened it up, make it go into those turns just a little bit freer. They only hope here that they didn't go too far on the car and that it'll still be handling okay in the corners. Now back upstairs to Ken Squire.
When they come by, 61 laps will remain in the event. McLaughlin, the loser in these pit stops, fell from second to fourth as they get ready to go again. Let's get a quick report from Larry McGriff.
Guys, we talked back at the halfway.
Flag to yours.
Okay, this caution has come with about 65 to go. Most of the leaders, they've used their 3 sets of tires on the caution. So you know what? As a crew chief, these guys' work is done. All they can do is hope that they make the right adjustments on this last stop they made, and these drivers will take it to the end. Darryl, you talk about a bad day. Kevin LePage, his car had got really loose right before that caution come out. Come on pit road, was sitting on pit road, changing 4 tires when the caution come out. If that wasn't enough problems, he had a guy go over the wall too soon, penalized 15 additional seconds. So for a guy that had a great car at the beginning, his day has really went sour.
And it's gone a lap down. After we've had these stops on pit road, you have Jimmy Spencer first, Martin in second, Nemechek third, McLaughlin fourth.
I see they're black flagging the number 9 of Jeff Burton. He must have done something NASCAR didn't like on the restart there.
He took off too soon.
A jumper.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. But golly, I don't understand that because the leaders, I know you can't take off over the third turn, but man, the leader is the leader, you know?
Spencer, the leader in number 12. Martin right there. You're riding with him for a moment. There's that number 40, LePage. Now a lap down. But caught on pit road. Talk about timing is everything. It certainly worked against him.
We both jumped up.
I'm telling you.
Off turn 4.
Off turn 4, they get 3 wide like that. I say, whoa.
I'll tell you what, these guys are going at it like there's 10 laps left to go in this event.
Michael Waltrip has come into 5th spot with that number 21 car. What a story he's been. He led, if you're just joining us, that youngster led many of the early laps. Duked it right out. Went toe-to-toe with Mark Martin for some time in the early going. And he's coming back into the picture. Running with Joe Nemechek right now. There you see the telemetry. Guys, tell us about a lap.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing to me, buddy, is how the RPM only change about 1,000, but the speed doesn't go down that much through the turn. I'm just impressed at how fast these cars go through the turn.
8,000 there. You can see him dropping down into turn 3, down on the white line. As he goes through the corner, his speeds go down to about 160 miles an hour. As he starts to advance down the straightaway, you see 175 down the straight, almost 8,000 as he approaches turn 1.
Yeah, that's interesting that the RPM doesn't drop that much. 7,000 through the turns here. That's keeping the RPM up pretty good.
Major supplier of drivetrains, Meritor, giving us these pictures of that telemetry, buddy.
I'm watching 15-mile-an-hour difference. You see right there, 150 is the lowest place he has in the corner. He accelerates 175 down the stretch.
Thanks to folks from Rockwell International Telemetry. Joe Nemechek.
3190.
Making a show out of it today. Back to 3rd. Won this race a year ago. Can he do it back to back? What a moment it was a year ago when he won this event in memory of his brother John. Here he is closing in on Mark Martin another time that they've completed 144 laps.
Well, we got the 3 winners of the last couple of races here. You got Nemechek, you got Spencer, and you got Martin up there. So obviously they've worked their way to the front, and that's where it's going to be settled at.
Mike McLaughlin, Robert Presley, and Mike Waltrip up there. They're fighting their way toward the front with Matt Kenseth at the end of this 4-car draft as they go around the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Michael Waltrip, the 93 winner. In that 21 car, Spencer first, Martin second, Nemechek, all 3 winners. Then McLaughlin looking for that first win of this race, and Waltrip, 4 out of the top 5, all previous winners in the 300.
Now, Mikey's got a Roush engine in his car, too, so Roush well represented here in this Busch series.
How does a guy who is 6 feet 4, almost 6 inches taller than his brother, like being called Mikey?
Good question.
Well, I tell you the truth, I ain't never asked him, but I'm sure if he didn't like it, he'd tell me.
Nobody else there is calling him Mikey.
No, but he's my buddy.
He better be.
Yeah. He's my bro. Right.
Here's Spencer doing what he does so well. He started way back, 35th. Came out of the consolation race yesterday. He's fought his way to the front twice. Had a good pit stop this time. Has that small advantage.
Poor Wilton Sawyer, I can't believe he went in the pit running second.
Came out 8th.
I don't even know where he is now. Hey, that's terrible. Come on, Sutton, you can do better, man. Sutton is crew chief, or car owner.
Pit stops will lick you.
Here we go,
Practice
side by side down into turn 3 there. Matt Kenseth trying to take the spot away from Michael Waltrip. Robert Presley right there with him.
Oh, Mikey. Set up McGrace to...
Kenseth is riding side by side. Kenseth with Waltrip. That's for 5th.
That high line is not the way to go.
Darrell, you can see these cars are not in love with this Speedway like they were on fresh tires, and when the pavement was nice and cool, they're beginning to dance around a little bit in the corner.
Well, although I just noticed it seems like it's gotten a little darker out there. Maybe some overcast will move in here and tighten these things up. Because I know everybody, as hot as it is, these drivers have got to be feeling the fatigue a little bit. Well, it's 90 degrees out there this afternoon. I noticed earlier in one of those shots, the driver was really, really just wringing wet with perspiration.
Matt Kenseth. He's 26 years old in that black-white numeral number 17, closing on the point leader. Now, those two guys came into this race, the 34 and the 17, 10 points apart. They come to the 12th race of the season. And here they are, nose to tail, as they fight for that Busch Grand National Championship. Dandy race. 4th place at stake. McLaughlin has it. And young Matt Kenseth out of Cambridge, Wisconsin. Oh, my. Oh, my. Keep Baker out of that department.
Baker.
Speedway Club at its best.
Y'all get...
The CarQuest Auto Parts 300 on TBS is brought to you by Circuit City. Answers in every department. Low prices all over the store. And by Midas Auto System Experts. A better system for you and your car.
Here you have Jimmy Spencer leading in the CarQuest Auto Parts 300 with 155 of 200 laps complete. 232.5 miles completed, 45 laps to go. In second spot is Mark Martin, and there you see the interval, first to second, and there is third. Joe Nemechek in number 87. Kenseth, the youngster, is up to 4th. Michael Waltrip just shocked by McLaughlin into 5th. McLaughlin back to 6th. Eldon Sawyer up to 7th. Bobby Labonte is in 8th. Sadler is running in 9th position now. That's Hermes. That's Elliott Sadler. And that's Bobby Hilton back in 10th.
Actually, I think it is. I think Elliott,
you're right.
Yeah, he was out earlier in the race.
Look at Barrier in the 77.
Oh, he and Dale Garrett are having a whale of a side-by-side battle. Barrier
spot.
Finally pulled out, and here comes LaJoy with him now.
That's a battle for 11th, 12th, and 13th right there. LaJoy to the inside of Dale Garrett as he goes through turn 3. Seems to me that right now Randy LaJoy's car is doing much better through the corner than it was earlier in the race. He's able to maintain a lower line through the corner.
There's that 77 Barrier out of 39th position at the start. Good run for Ed Barrier.
Yeah, it is. He's moved up very well through the field and is running nice right now.
And LaJoy's having a good day, back to 13th.
Well, you got to realize LaJoy, he had to come through the qualifying race to even get in the show, so he's made a big gain.
Hey, Darrell, that won't sell. The leader of the race come through there and won the hooligan race to make today's show, and now he's leading Jimmy Spencer, so I tell you what, he's turned it up too. He fought his way from the back today after fixing the fender that was damaged earlier in the wreck. So leads this race.
Yeah, well, we know Mark Martin and he, as Ken said earlier, put on one of the best shows here I've seen in years, running side by side with Jimmy on the outside and Mark on the inside. I think we may get a repeat here.
See that number 74? Crew Chief Steve Burr. I said, is this a new car? He said, of course it's a new car. The only thing we have are new cars. We've wrecked all the old ones.
Boy, they have. It just, for a team that's had such incredibly good luck, it just shows how things can change.
And we hope Bill Baumgartner is feeling better under the weather some of the past several days. Let's go down to Mike Hawkwood.
Just talking to crew chief Robbie Reiser on the 17 of Matt Kenseth, and he confirms what you guys suspected, and that is the damage on the front end of that car has really affected the way that it is handling. He said you've got to give some credit to his driver, the young Kenseth. He is driving with his heart as much as anything today and keeping that car up front.
Well, I can vouch for that because that tape, you know, they had to tape the front end up, and that hurts their aerodynamics. And these things are down on power anyway, so it really takes its toll.
Ken, I'm watching right now as Mark Martin pulls down on our race leader, Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy Spencer jumped out there about a 20-car length lead, but right now Mark Martin's working him over.
It's the same old with Mark. You know, the longer he runs, normally the faster he gets. Or not that he gets faster. Let me qualify that. The other guys slow down, and he doesn't, and they back up to him, and he's able to drive around in most of the cases. Well, I think that may be part of it. You know, he's in great shape, and I tell you how hot it is. Earlier in the show here, we saw him taking a drink of water out of the bottle. So for him, that means it's really, really hot out there today. And then the other thing is the setup on the car. It's just set up to do that.
First and second right there. That's how close they are. About 37 laps left to go. We'll take a commercial break, and we'll be back with more from the Charlotte Motor Speedway and the CarQuest Auto Parts 300.
Hey, race fans, Budweiser asked, who won? May 24th, 1997, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Mark Martin started on the pole in car number 60, but he couldn't hold back. Number 87 was Joe Nemechek aboard. From the 10th starting position, Bobby Labonte was setting his Pontiac up for victory. Meanwhile, a furious battle was going on in the back of the pack between Kevin LePage in 88 and the 74 of Randy LaJoie. But who won? Take a look at the contenders. The answer when we return. For the first time in his career, Joe Nemechek won at Charlotte. Randy LaJoie in 74 ran up front early, but couldn't keep pace with the leaders and finished 10th. The day ended early for Bobby Labonte as his engine expired. Looking for his 5th win at Charlotte, Mark Martin came up short, finishing 3rd. Kevin LePage blasted his way through the field to finish 2nd from a 24th starting position. But it was Joe Nemechek leading the last 69 laps to score his 4th career Grand National win. Who Won was brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you.
30 laps to go. Next time by, big battle for the lead. Spencer, who only took on 2 tires in the last caution, in front fighting with Mark Martin.
Yeah, and right ahead of him is Jeff Burton, which is, of course, Mark Martin's teammate. So he's, I don't say that he would.
I can tell you, he won't mess with Spencer. When it comes up there, that 12 car right there, my friend, you pass him the best way you can, but you're not going to create a problem for him. As Mark Martin did close up about a car length on the last lap.
As we watch the principals, let's go down to the pits, get some late reports on what's happening there, how they see this race going. First, here's Steve Burns.
Hey, Ken, I just spoke to Bobby Leslie, the crew chief on Mark Martin's car, and he said you've got 3 veterans there up at the front. The cars are all pretty equal. He said, Mark said whoever makes the first mistake is going to lose this race. Joe Nemechek has told his crew to be quiet. Don't talk to him. He's trying to concentrate. Randy Pemberton?
Well, as far as Jimmy Spencer is concerned, I talked to his crew chief, Billy Kerwood. I asked him, you put on 2 right side tires at lap 136. Are you going to have any trouble whatsoever with going the distance on those left side tires? He said they were absolutely perfect. We are good to go. To Alan Bestwood.
Mike McLaughlin is the series championship leader. His car is tight. That means the front end doesn't have the grip he needs to carry all the speed through the corner. He's having to give up some time to the others. In fact, he just lost the 6th position to Bobby Labonte a minute ago. Tight condition for Mike McLaughlin. To Mike Hogwood.
Jason Jarrett won't be around for the end of this race. He had a wreck a few moments ago, but what was it like out there running side by side with Dad today?
Well, at the start, I took off, got in front of him there. That was pretty exciting. You know, my line just happened to go, and then when I passed him, I guess right there after that last pit stop, then my car started going away a little bit, getting a little bit looser, and he caught me back. So, you know, for us to have been right there together, that was pretty exciting, and, you know, I'm glad CarQuest gave me a chance to run this race, and, you know, I can't say enough for how nice they've been to me.
Jason Jarrett now going to pull for his dad at the end of this race.
And doing exactly what he had to do. Got that sponsor.
You're exactly right. I know he learned a lot today. Mark Martin right now, they got by Jeff Burton a few laps back. Mark Martin's trying everything to reel Spencer back in. There's about a 5 or 6 car length advantage right now by Spencer. Just behind him there, Joe Nemechek is not out of his thing by a long shot.
Nor is Waltrip. Michael Waltrip in that 21 staying fourth. He's got time to get back into this thing as well. Larry McReynolds, what about strategy now?
Well, Ken Squire, if it's tomorrow night in the World 600 with about 27 laps to go and that caution comes out, I know what that black number 3 is going to do. We're going to come down pit road and get us some tires. These guys today, all of the leaders, they're out of tires. Jimmy Spencer, Mark Martin, Joe Nemechek, they don't want to see a caution. They want to battle it out by themselves. But Michael Waltrip, Matt Kenseth, Bobby Labonte, those guys want a caution. Even though they can't come down pit road and make adjustments, at least they'll get one more shot and get bunched up with those leaders.
Larry McReynolds, final question. Condition of your driver, Dale Earnhardt, for tomorrow night. We heard he had a broken rib. Can he go 600 miles?
Well, he really didn't have a broken rib, Ken. He had some ribs knocked out of place. I think he's ready to go. We've made some long runs. Starting 28, looked good this morning. Like we talked in the opening of the show, just because we was good this morning, I don't know what happy hour is going to bring. I just hope we're happy.
Okay, we'll take a quick commercial break. Thanks, Larry McReynolds, crew chief for Dale Earnhardt. He'll be a principal tomorrow in the 39th annual Coca-Cola 600. More in a moment.
Yeah.
4th annual Goodwill Games from New York featuring Dan O'Brien and 1,500 great athletes in 15 sports. Commences July 19th on TBS, the Superstation. Hey, what a super effort being made today by Patty Moise, number 14. She's up in 17th position, has been running in the lead lap most of the day. Running right out there in the heat of the day and really keeping this car up in the hunt.
Yeah, you know, that car is owned by my brother Michael there, and, you know, he's a multi-car team owner, and he's trying to dominate this Busch series, what he's trying to do with those 2 cars.
Speaking of domination,
your domination may be over.
Woo! You can see Mark Martin really move up on Jimmy Spencer going into 3s, looking him over down through the dog leg here, Ken. It's not going to be long before Mark Martin rings his bell. Whether he gets him or not, he's going to ring for him.
Mark Martin can get through 3 and 4 better than anybody here, but he has to hold his own. He just can hold his own in 1 and 2. But when it comes to coming off turn 4, he's got a big move right there.
18 laps to go. There's Spencer Burton getting right down to where it was last October.
Yep.
These were the 2 that won at it.
Right to the difference. So, Ken, last time, Jimmy was willing to give up the bottom and let Mark have the bottom and run on the outside. Now, maybe he'll get forced into that situation here before the race go with. But right now, his car is working awfully well right around the bottom of the racetrack as well. Mark Martin, he won't come off that bottom. If he had to move up off that bottom, there's something wrong with the car.
CarQuest Auto Parts 300. Can't believe it. It's shaking down to be a replay of the 300-miler last October prior to the 500, the other major racing weekend here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Jimmy Spencer seems to be able to pull, like you said, through 1 and 2 a lot better than Mark Martin. They're down in 3 and 4. I believe Mark Martin's car is quicker. Now, whether he can make the move on Jimmy Spencer, I don't think he's going to get him off that bottom on the last lap like he did last year.
Well, you think about last week in the Winston, he passed the 18 car off turn 4 right there, coming to the white flag. Actually was the move that won the race for him when Jeff ran out of gas. So he's got a big move in 3 and 4.
6th spot, number 34, the white and blue car of McLaughlin, followed by Bobby Labonte. And Elton Sawyer is 8th. Dillon stays 9th. And Sadler 10th. Behind the battle for the lead, Spencer versus Martin. It's 20 car lengths to Nemechek in 3rd spot. And time becomes a factor. 15 laps to go.
It really does. And I never can figure out. I'm never real sure what Mark's up to. He'll fall back like he is right now, and you think, uh-oh, Jimmy's getting away. Then all of a sudden, Mark will run back up on him. I think it's cat and mouse, really.
Here comes Bobby Labonte taking a look on the inside of Michael McLaughlin down into turn 3, side by side. We have seen this all day long. Yeah. Mike McLaughlin very fast right there. As they start off, Bobby Labonte makes it side by side down the front straightaway.
They've been going at each other pretty hot and heavy here for the last several laps. Bobby just can't seem to clear him.
Now remember, coming into today, Grand National points, it was McLaughlin leading Kenseth by 10. Right now, Kenseth is in 5th. McLaughlin is in 7th.
See, but when these cars tighten up and start to push, as some of them are complaining about, they've got to run that higher line because that's the only way they can get around the racetrack.
Randy Pemberton on the leader.
With 13 laps to go, Billy Kerwood, Spencer's crew chief, told him Martin might be cooling his tires. If he gets to you, you protect that bottom because this is your race. We want to go to victory lane here today. So this crew is fired up. They're trying to keep Jimmy fired up. Protect the bottom.
We'll take a final pit stop and then come back for the finish of this race. It's going to be a good one. Don't go away. Spencer versus Martin for the finale. The celebration continues in 1998, the 50th anniversary of the most competitive automobile racing in the world. NASCAR Racing Grand National today as we get down to the finish after 191 of 200 laps. Jimmy Spencer, Mr. Excitement, is out in front. Mark Martin's coming after him. Joe Nemechek 15 car lengths back. Michael Waltrip is closing fast from fourth. Then you've got Matt Kenseth and McLaughlin continuing their struggle for the Grand National Busch Series title. Here's McLaughlin as he continues to motor on here in the final moments. He and Bobby Labonte back and forth in that struggle. Labonte in the 44. That struggle is for 6. Meanwhile, up in front, as we watch Jeff Purvis back on the pit road. He got caught up in an incident earlier. There's your leader, Jimmy Spencer. Willie Willis back-to-back, win in October, come back here and win today. Look at this for 6. Bobby Labonte on the inside, the pole sitter. Regular driver of the car, Tony Stewart, awaiting Indianapolis tomorrow, where he will start in fourth for Team Menard. Here comes Bobby Labonte back to the bottom, holding on the outside. Magic Shoes McLaughlin of Waterloo, New York, has never looked better.
They've been doing this for the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 laps. Seems like he'll get in the corner better, Mike will, and then Bobby will drive under him coming off, and they just can't get away from each other.
And now there are 6 laps to go.
And Mark is really starting to try to put some pressure on Jimmy Spencer. I tell you, that's going to be another one of those big shootouts.
Folks, don't go away. Immediately following this broadcast, it's that final hour of practice, the final chance to massage those racing cars and get them ready to run 600 miles for $2.5 million. Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow. Don't miss a moment. Remember, the pole sitter banged the wall this morning with his key driver in it, Terry Labonte. Jeff Gordon gets a chance to try out that car tonight. You're going to see it with us.
You can see Jimmy Spencer getting a little bit loose coming off turn 2.
Yeah.
Mark Martin is starting to put the pressure on the outside. He knows that Jimmy's loose on the bottom part of the racetrack. Can he make the move on the outside?
To go when they come around. Here they are, even across. Martin on the high side. There. Spencer dropping back.
I think something happened. I don't know what's wrong with Jimmy because just all of a sudden his car wiggled down to 1 and 2.
Randy Pemberton can give us more.
There's definitely a motor problem for Jimmy Spencer. Believe it or not, they're thinking ignition or flat out might have broke on him. Do you believe it?
How about that one, buddy?
That's heartbreaking. As you can see there, Dick Trickle, who really hasn't been in the fight all day long today, he's actually running better. You see Spencer through the corner, really good, but down the straightaway he's off.
Trickle, 20th, pulling out a couple of laps ago. Take a look at this.
Right there, you can see a little puff of smoke. That's usually a broken valve.
Now,
you see that smoke pop like that.
Just think about Mark Martin. He comes down to get the white flag in the Winston, and Jeff Gordon runs out of gas. We're coming down here to the end of the race, 3 to go, and Jimmy Spencer has a motor problem. I mean, this guy, is he living a charm life or what?
Well, Jimmy Spencer, right now, just behind him, Joe Nemechek's less than a car length back there, and with the problems that he has, he's trying to draft on slower cars right now to keep momentum. He's down on 7 cylinders.
Yeah, you could hear him go by that time. The motor was real flat, so he just hoping it'll make it to the end.
Here comes Nemechek scratching and plowing for anything he can get to get another spot out here.
This is his unending battle right here.
I'm telling
These guys have done this for, seems like an eternity now, back and forth for 6 spots.
And they've run each other well. They've run each other hard all afternoon. Mike McLaughlin, Bobby Labonte.
Yeah, Nemechek's going to get Jimmy.
White flag is out.
I think he is. Jimmy.
White flag is out.
Oh, Jimmy cuts him off on the outside there. You see Nemechek get on the brakes just a little bit. He's got to try to pass him down the straightaway if he possibly can.
Yeah. He better make that a wide straightaway when he does, too.
Here comes Nemechek on the outside.
Can't hold him. Nemechek is through. Clear for second spot. Joe Nemechek. Spencer falling to third.
Michael
coming down.
fast.
Coming down. It's going to be number 60. Mark Martin has done it again. Not the fight he had to put up back in October, but a darn good one until 3 laps to go. When we saw that little puff of smoke. There they are at the line. My heart. Bobby Labonte gets 6. McLaughlin gets 7.
Oh, wow.
Spencer had to settle for 3rd. Waltrip wound up in 4th. Matt Kenseth in 5th. But there's the guy that after the Winston, the Charlotte Observer said, Mark Martin zooms, and Jeff Gordon fumes, out of fumes, as he came off turn 4 and lost that one. That was some excitement a week ago. Hey, let's go to that crew chief right now on this number 60.
And Ken, his name is Bobby Leslie. Bobby, 33rd career win for Mark Martin. How'd your team do it?
Well, actually, the team worked real hard, but I think Mark's on such a big roll, especially with his Winston Cup program, that it rolled over on us. The 12 car must have had problems because we weren't going to catch him at the end. We're just lucky today that we won the race. You know, all these guys in this Winn-Dixie team worked real hard, and I need to thank all the people back there in Liberty, North Carolina, for helping us, too.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Back upstairs.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go.
There you see the number 60 rolling in for Victory Lane. Old DW, he's got to leave. He wants to go down here and run happy hour. We're
Yeah,
going to take a quick break. We'll let you go. 2 things quick. Yes?
Yeah, 2 things you don't want to run out of, tires and sunscreen.
All right. Hey, good luck tomorrow. Have
Thanks.
a great 600.
Yes, sir.
We'll be watching
just like
that
Jimmy
number 1.
Spencer did.
Going to do what?
From the back to the front.
All right. We'll be here to see you.
All right.
All right. Darrell Waltrip, he'll be out here in happy hour as part of the co-host of the show. And we'll be back. There's Jimmy Spencer walking away with more of the story of the CarQuest Auto Parts 300 today.
A promotional fee and consideration have been paid by the following: Racing Radios, radio communications provided by Racing Radios. For all your business and racing communications needs, call Racing Radios. By Clement Chevy Max Sales. For all your truck and tractor needs, call Clement. And by Ned Jarrett's Fantasy Cup Auto Racing, America's #1 fantasy racing game. For more information, call 1-800-877-RACE or go online at www.fantasycup.com.
Bobby Leslie, the crew chief for number 60, Mark Martin, winner today of the Plastic Coat Crew Chief Award, intimated in that interview that he did at the end that they were lucky today. Well, you got to be there to be lucky, and indeed, they were there all day with this man, Mark Martin. Let's visit him now.
Well, Mark, congratulations. Your first win in this car in 1998. Your crew chief, Bobby Leslie, told us a couple of minutes ago he felt kind of lucky today. How about you?
Yeah, I tell you what, I sure got luck on my side. We couldn't beat Spencer. That was too bad. He was doing a great job of driving that car, and he was hooked up. Car was just hooked up, and I couldn't beat him. But he had a problem there at the end, and we were just there to take advantage of it.
Your race car in the final laps while you were trying to get around him compared to his.
I just, I couldn't get by him, you know. I could get to him, but then my front end would slide. The Winn-Dixie tires had been loose all day, and last stop we tightened it up a little bit, and I guess we shouldn't have or something because then it was tight. So a little too tight behind Jimmy.
You have had some tough luck this season with this team. Is this the point that the momentum turns with all the great luck you've had with the Winston Cup car?
Momentum's momentum, man. You know, it does what it wants, so I don't talk about that much. I'm real happy to win for this race team, Bobby Leslie and Winn-Dixie, and you know, Goodyear had a great tire today. We could just run all day on those things without changing them, but you know, sometimes you got to have luck to win these things, and today we had it.
I know you won't celebrate this win long. How about the 600 tomorrow night?
Well, we've got to get right at it. We've got happy hour starting in about 5 minutes.
Mark Martin anxious to go get his car ready for the 600. He wins today here at Charlotte. Let's go to Mike Hogwood.
And we're with Joe Nemechek, who came home second and had a few thrills there on that last lap, getting by Jimmy Spencer.
I tell you what, that was exciting. He was trying to block me all he could, but I just got to say thanks to Brian Patty and all these guys who work on this Bell South Mobility DCS Chevrolet. We were about a 30th place car at the start, and they kept working on it. We got the car better and better, and that last set of tires we put on, they had a good pit stop, and we got up there and we could run with Mark. And it's just tough. You know, last year we beat Mark in this race, and we beat him pretty bad, and he came back down here and he is prepared.
but you kept digging all day, and you never gave up on it, and that's the mark of a driver who really takes his sport and wants to go there.
Well, that's one of the things about the racetrack, and I think you're going to see that tomorrow night in the Cup races. The track is as slick as anybody has ever seen it here, and you're just on edge the whole time, and if you make one little mistake, you're in trouble. But I got to say thanks to Ericsson, Prolong, Maco Tools. Those people, you really help make it fun racing.
All right, let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Jimmy Spencer sitting here getting a cold drink. Jimmy, that was a shock to us. It looked like you had your 9th career Busch Series win here this afternoon.
I think we did without a doubt. I think that car was awesome all day. The Zippo Chevrolet was brutal. And I knew if I could get in front of the Tauruses, they're going to have push. And the Monte Carlo is an awesome race car, and we knew that. And, you know, I think Mark couldn't pass me because of that push problem. And the motor, something gave up. The electrical system, something broke somewhere, and it started missing. And he passed me. And we're lucky to finish 3rd. You know, thank the Lord for that. But the guy's done a great job, Mike Laughlin. Can't say enough about him and his brother Jackie. They do a super job on my race cars. And my guys do a great job putting the bodies on. Can't say enough about Hutter. I just got a long wait now. I'm not racing until Michigan now. Same car, though. We'll be back.
Jimmy, quickly, what did you learn here today? You're getting ready to go out there for happy hour. What can you apply to the Winston Cup car?
Well, you know, Donnie and them put some stuff in the car this morning from this car. And, you know, we got the same shock guy, Vince Valerno, does the shocks for my Busch car, and he does it for Travis's Cup car, which is mine, too. And I think we learned a lot there. And tire wear was phenomenal. Vince has come up with a good combination right there. And Donnie and everybody's been working really, really hard on Team Winston, the No Bull guys. And I think we'll be in good shape for tomorrow night.
I tell you one thing he learned. It is hot out there, man. He has sucked down about 4 bottles of water down here upstairs.
There goes 5. Oh, look at this. Sisyphus himself pushing the rock through eternity. But you can consider him happy as he gets ready to come out for a happy hour next. Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Smith, gave it a great ride here today. So, here are the unofficial results, and we'll be back with some of the other stars of today's CarQuest 300 in a moment. Back with you live at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where they are preparing for the final shakedown. We get ready for that 39th annual Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow. There's the guy that will rest on the pole. Big question mark about his car right now after it was in collision with the wall this morning with his team driver, Terry Labonte, at the controls. Slept over. Jeff Gordon. All right, Steve Burns.
Well, Ken, we're with Michael Waltrip, who finished 4th. Unfortunately, Michael, you have to go practice. I know you're hot.
Yeah, but anytime you have as much fun as we did today with the Band-Aid Ford, you don't mind getting back out in the racetrack. We're really interested to see what this track's going to be like right now after this race for the Winston Cup practice.
Now, Michael, how about the race today? Did you learn anything today that you can apply to tomorrow?
Well, I think so. We had a real good setup underneath the Grand National car, and we struggled with the Cup car. This is the first good thing that's happened to us in Cup 2 weeks over here. We've really struggled. But the setup we had today, we'll put that setup right in the Winston Cup car, no doubt about it. We worked real well back and forth like that. We went to the back. We broke an air gun and restarted last and wound up in the top 5. I think if it had been a 320, we might have given Mark a little something to go because there at the end we were outrunning them a little bit.
Okay, great run. Let's go to Alan Bestwick.
Well, if you look at the box score in the paper tomorrow, it'll show Matt Kenseth started 5th and finished 5th, but it was a much more adventurous day than that, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it was. We passed way more than 5 cars, it felt like, but we had a really good race car, like the Chevrolet, run super. Chancey was right on the money. We got out front, led some laps, had it right where we wanted it, kind of, and then, you know, there's a little scuffle off before where the lap car kind of got Mark's way there, and Earnhardt hit the wall, and I hit Earnhardt, and after that, we fought an aerodynamic problem all day, had to come all the way from the back of the field, and we're pretty good in traffic, but when I got out in clean air, it slowed down about 300 RPM, so to come out of here 5th, we're pretty thankful for that.
It's how you win championships, is when you have that kind of luck, when you have a problem. Matt Kenseth right now should be 1 point behind Mike McLaughlin for the series title. Let's go upstairs.
1 point indeed between McLaughlin, Mike McLaughlin, and that guy Kenseth. Well, there's the scene in Victory Lane, and you can see a Yancey guy that just won that race. He wants to get over and try out that number 6 car. He wants to get out here and see if he's ready to win that 600 tomorrow, that $2.5 million showdown to the Memorial Weekend. More in a moment. Winston Cup cars lining up for that final practice period. Let's quickly go back to pit road with a guy who finished 6th today.
Bobby Labonte is already strapped in his number 18 Winston Cup car. Bobby, How about that Busch race today, coming home 6th after starting up front?
Is that where we finished? I didn't even know. You know, man, we fought a little loose there all day long and made an adjustment on the last pit stop and got lost some track position and never could gain it back.
Was your car handling different after the wreck yesterday? I know your crew worked really hard on it yesterday and this morning.
No more different than what the track changed from yesterday to today. So it wasn't a whole lot of difference, I don't think.
What'd you learn as you get ready to go out for happy hour?
Like I always say, nothing.
Okay, Bobby Labonte putting the helmet on and getting ready for that 600 tomorrow.
Bobby Labonte, a major contender to win the 600 tomorrow. Let's take a look at the full field results on today's CarQuest 300, taking 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 53 seconds, averaging 133.449. That's how it was decided in favor of Mark Martin, who already is trudging quickly back, trotting over there to get in that car number 6 and bring the Jack Roush Ford out here to try it out in the final moments as we look down through these statistics as to how they finished in today's race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. gave it a good run, but clipped on the wall here in an incident. There were 6 cautions before the afternoon was over, and Mark Martin led 79 of the laps. Jimmy Spencer led 59. Blaney, one of the first ones out. A look at the points. There you have it, before and after. And now it's a matter of 1 point between first and second, McLaughlin and Kenseth. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is still very much a factor. So now we get ready for happy hour, and that's right around the corner here on TBS. So stay with us, and we hope you've enjoyed coverage of the CarQuest Auto Parts 300 today. We're getting...
The CarQuest Auto Parts 300 on TBS has been brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Mobil 1 Synthetic Motor Oil. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. By A1, a marinade, a seasoning, a 136-year-old secret. And by the 3,400 CarQuest Auto Parts stores across North America.
Mark Martin wins today. Tomorrow, join us for the running of the Coca-Cola 600, beginning at 5:35 as Jeff Gordon will lead them down to the green flag. And coming up next on TBS, join us as the road to the championship continues with 90 minutes of the final shakedown happy hour here for the 600 as we talk to some of the greatest drivers in the world preparing for this event. For Buddy Baker, Darrell Waltrip, Steve Burns, Alan Bestwick, Randy Pemberton, Mike Hogwood, Larry McReynolds, Ken Squire saying thanks for being with us for the CarQuest 300. Stay tuned. Happy hour is next.
The preceding has been a presentation of Turner Sports, where this year you saw cable television's exclusive coverage of the 18th Winter Games from Nagano, Japan. Coming in July, the 4th Goodwill Games from New York.